Sports in HD everywhere you look. For location, hours, and menu, head to cptallybar.com. Whether you're feeling the upstairs at the Corner Pocket or lounging down at the 7th Hill Tap Room, your game day is always covered. 2475 Appalachie Parkway, right next to Earth Fair.
Wahoo Seafood Grill, Tallahassee's leader in fresh seafood, is located right behind the Best Western on North Monroe. Lunch specials start at $7.99. Be sure to try their award-winning house-made burger. Big lunch parties are also welcome. Wahoo Seafood Grill makes lunch specials a very affordable choice. Delivery is available and plenty of parking. Wahoo Seafood Grill, easy access from any part of town using I-10. Visit them online at wahooseafoodgrill.com or call them today at 850-629-4059.
Hi, Chris Kraft for Kraft Nissan. Look around. That's right, you see Nissans everywhere. Tallahassee has officially become a Nissan town. Kraft Nissan Town. Why? Because Kraft Nissan has the best pricing, best selection, and the best buying experience in town. And at Kraft Nissan, you get the best value for your dollar with more standard features, our exclusive and the original lifetime warranty, our easy choice menu that gives you a price and payment in writing, our New For You program that helps people with damaged credit, and every new Nissan we sell has available 0% interest for 60 months. Plus $1,000 over Kelley Blue Book for your trade. Best of all, my people are the best in the business. They'll greet you with a smile and a handshake, and they know your time is valuable. My managers are always accessible, and of course, you can always ask for me or my brother Peter. Bottom line, if you need a new or pre-owned car, you need to experience the Kraft difference. Great people, great product, great price, with the best car buying experience in town. Kraft Nissan on Mahan Drive between Academy Sports and Costco. And remember, if you don't see the Kraft tag on your car, you paid too much. Way too much.
GT Electric is Tallahassee's premier state-certified electrical contractor. Locally owned and operated for over 20 years, GT Electric offers a variety of electrical services for residential, commercial, and industrial fields, including upgrades, repairs, replacements, and installation. GT Electric also sells and services power generators for commercial buildings, homes, and construction job sites. Call them today at 421-9002. That's 421-9002. Or stop by gtelectricfl.com.
This hour of the Jeff Cameron Show is brought to you by Jerry's Cigar Shop, 2810 Shera Road and 2910 Cary Forest Parkway. Online at jerrycigarshop.com.
Come visit the new and exciting Hangar 38. This amazing place is for everyone listening right now. Practice your bowling skills, compete, and have fun. Whether you're a newbie, an all-star, or a beer frame champion, no matter how you roll, you'll find the best place to bowl is at Hangar 38. Hangar 38 is home to over 75 arcade games, so they're sure to have something for everyone. Zeppelin's at Hangar 38 is a premier full-service restaurant and sports bar, and it's also your place for birthday parties and company outings. Tallahassee, what are you waiting for? Come on out to Zeppelin's Hangar 38, 6668 Thomasville Road behind Walgreens.
You're locked in with the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
YouTube is back for those still searching. Get it together, YouTube. I just was fantastic in that opening segment. You cost many of our viewers an opportunity to bear witness to that. I got to get to some of these emails, and I got to get to announcing when we're going to do the bowling tournament, which I think is going to be soon. It's we'll get this ironed out.
The announcement or the tournament?
Both.
We'll see you Friday.
Hey, no, it's not going to be that soon, but we'll do it in December, and I can't believe it's already the 13th of November, so yeah, by definition, this sucker's going to be soon. Always a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to it. You guys are the best when it comes to this stuff, and kids never really want because of you guys as you come in and end up doing the right thing, and plus the bowling's fun. We have a good time. I think this will be a big one this year, too. We're going to expand the lanes. We don't want to be bowling with the other riffraff. Let's just take all the lanes.
My God, that whole place?
Let's just take everybody. Come on.
Like the whole town.
Bring me everybody. That is a sizable bowling alley, by the way. I mean, you can tell it was built at a time when there was nothing else to do.
You could have the whole athletic department, all the players.
You really could. But I'm serious about that. Like, you could tell that bowling alley was built at a time when, you just were bored to tears all the time. Nobody had anything to do. Like, it was built pre-internet. People were just like, what do we do?
Yeah, they could have like
could
6
go
leagues
bowling.
in one night there.
It's a league night, Smokey. League game. I would I just was looking at an email because I'm trying to get caught up. Rhino Pete says to me that, Jeff, you were too dismissive of Dion. I thought your jocular dismissive comments were rude and unkind. I'm not worried about being rude and unkind to Dion, believe me. Nice use of jocular. I don't think that I was. I think this is not a entry-level position. He's never been a head coach in college a day in his life. No way, no how. So that's pretty straightforward.
I mean, he's got Rich Eisen's endorsement, though.
I don't think I said anything mean.
He'll be a huge success, period. That was Rich Eisen's endorsement.
I like Rich Eisen a lot, so I choose to ignore that silliness and move on, and just hope that he continues to thrive in his role as an anchor and driver of the Countdown Show or whatever the hell the name of the show is on Sundays. That's about it. Don't need him as a play-by-play, and don't need him making commentary on this, but he's really good at the other stuff. And I think, from what I've been told, he's a great guy. Evansville last night, huh? All right, welcome back, college basketball. Good on you. That was really cool. I didn't see a second of it. But then I caught the highlights and thought, well, sweet Jesus, that's got to be the worst loss for Kentucky at home in, like, ages. And to have it be done by a former Kentucky player as coach, that's really cool, too. That was neat.
Yeah, it was a cool moment, a mini sentimental moment for me because Evansville, I've said this before, was the first place to reach out to me for college. You know, you get the scholarship offers and stuff like that, and there are certain places you never heard of, and you're like, why am I on their list?
I mostly got scholarship offers from places I'd never heard of.
They were like the equivalent of the car group that says you're pre-approved. You know, like, you're pre-approved.
All right.
You're in. Welcome to Evansville. And I said, well, no thanks, Evansville. The cover of your magazine looks pretty cool, though. But I'm going to say no to you. Years later, here they are. They had never beaten an AP Top 25 team,
let alone the number one.
Number one in the country. Really cool for them.
It was really cool, and it was the celebration. And it wasn't a fluke. They led the whole game, basically. You know, they kind of took control of the game.
Yeah. They end up hitting more threes. The box score is very similar. They out-rebound Kentucky last night, which I found really interesting. Typically, you just see a bunch of missed shots, and Kentucky, you know, or the bigger team, the better team, out-rebounds you to the tune of a 12 to 15 rebound margin. Not the case last night.
Pretty cool that they're the Purple Aces. Like, most of the time you hear a nickname of a school and you kind of go, oh, yeah, it's been done before. Oh, great, they're the Rams or the Jaguars or the Lions or Tigers or whatever. No, the Purple Aces. All right. Look at you. I'm a purple ace, and nobody else is. It's just you.
Well, VJ.
Yeah. VJ, who I frequently claim, VJ Singh, ladies and gentlemen, who I frequently claim is the most underrated professional golfer in the history of the PGA Tour. Because I think when we think about great golfers, VJ Singh never comes up.
Yeah.
Ever.
When you talk about who stared down Tiger, like VJ did it a couple of times in Tiger's heyday.
Yeah.
But we all point to Ernie or Phil Mickelson or DeMarco.
Yeah.
But VJ did take the number one world ranking from Tiger.
While he was, yes.
Well before he had any types of issues off the course that were known to the world.
Yeah. And David Duval is the only other one to do it. And it was very brief, but he did it.
Duval did it for like
he did it.
30 seconds.
But he did do it.
He did do it.
And he shot a 59 on tour. That's
he was a bad man.
He was. But anyhow, that said, by the way, the Missouri Valley Conference, for which the Purple Aces reside, or where the Purple Aces reside, they were picked 8th in their conference this year preseason. So this wasn't a special edition of the Purple Aces that went into Kentucky, or at least not preseason. Good for them. Upset the game's number one. Slowly easing in once again to college basketball. And we should note that we got our guy. It's official, right?
Whoa, wait, out of context if somebody just flipped on the radio.
Sorry, college basketball, Florida State basketball.
Yeah.
So, I mean.
Somebody just crashed into
we got him.
A
Cameron
ditch off of
just
Paul
went
Russell.
with it. It's real. Let's go. No, I'm talking about basketball, and I'm just going to say this. It's exciting we continue to watch Leonard Hamilton and his staff recruit at an elite level right now for this program in particular, but find ways to sign guys that really you just wonder what in the world. I mean, other than the consistency, and then, of course, if Ham is talking to you, you listen. But, I mean, these are guys in some cases that are being recruited by, Kentucky and UCLA and schools like that, and you think, how did we get a seat at the table?
Yeah, so the kid who committed and signed today, Scotty Barnes, I believe.
Yeah.
He was, if you went to the 24/7 Crystal Ball, right, which is it's got all the writers all around the country. We weren't on the list of potential forecasts for commits. It was Oregon. Everybody thought he was going to go to Oregon, but he was considering other, top-end programs.
Originally,
And then the next thing you know, he commits to us. And then the question today was, all right, well, this is the beginning of signing period. Is he going to let it pass by and then maybe weigh his options a little bit more as the class shakes out for all these good teams around the country? And no, he wasn't waiting at all. Today's the first opportunity you could put pen to paper. He said, going to Florida State, signed, sealed, and delivered. By any recruiting service, he is a top 3 to 5 prospect in this program's history.
Yeah, and so when you think about that history, it's not littered with kids that are ranked this highly on the recruiting trail. It just isn't. So congrats to Leonard Hamilton, and congrats to his staff who are doing a great job of getting kids in here. And in the interim, I should note that we've talked about being excited about the upcoming season and figuring out how the pieces fit. Malik Osborne's on tonight after this show ends. Tonight, if you stay tuned, Front Row Knowles are going to have Malik Osborne on, and I'm excited to listen to that interview. If you haven't read up on Malik Osborne or listened to him talk before, it's great. It's he gets you excited about the future of Florida State basketball. And his career in particular.
I know you're starting to zero in on this, and I know these are old friends of mine from last year. They end up making the Final Four, but Auburn basketball, I was paying attention to them last night for this reason. They were 7.5-point favorites on the road at South Alabama, the South Alabama Jaguars, as you were talking about every other team.
Yeah.
So I thought, all right, let's keep an eye on this. It's a top 25 school going into a no-name place. It's not that far of a trip for them. It's South Alabama. Let's see what they do. I put a pretend wager. I decided not to, but I put a pretend laying the 7.5. So Auburn's down with under 10 seconds to go. They're down 69-68. They end up making an and one with 2 seconds to go, make the free throw, and they win the game. And in the last, actually, they missed the free throw, but they win the game 70-69. And I thought for sure, man, 7.5, that's nothing for a top 25 versus a no-name.
Would have lost your fake wager.
I would have lost the fake wager. So yeah. I'm not honed in yet on where I need to be. November is a weird month for college basketball.
Really strange.
But you would think you might be able to get a couple of freebies.
The Evansville game, in some places, did not have a money line, did not have odds. Where you could find them, they were as high as, I think, 42-1.
Oh, my goodness.
On the money line.
You think any of the casinos had that out there?
I saw one did, but
like
imagine.
The Golden Nugget or something? Yeah,
somebody had it. You put $100 down on the money line there, you had a good night at the office. That changes your bankroll moving forward for your endeavors.
Well, it just, yes, the Golden Nugget ends up getting more of your money.
Probably. Or you're in a position to go big when you need to go big, and you take more of the Golden Nuggets money.
Oh, right. That's how that works.
Well, for some, there are professional gamblers who make a living at it. Now, they're few and far between, but they do exist. So back to Scotty Barnes. And that's pretty cool. The picture of Scotty Barnes. I'm proud to be announcing that next year I will be playing for Coach Hamilton and his staff at Florida State University. To all the coaches, mentors, teachers, and family members that have molded and helped me to get to this point in my journey, thank you. Very mature-sounding young man, taking the time to thank all those along the way that chipped in to his arrival here at Florida State, to this eventual moment, this great moment, and to think, once again, further reiterating my point, you referenced Oregon. True, he was thought to be going to Oregon. But if he didn't, he was certainly offered by Kentucky. Holy man, you've beaten out Kentucky and the deep pocketbooks that they have to offer.
Well, and that's why the reputation for Leonard on the recruiting trail is he, according to some experts, and I've seen this more than one place, he scares the living hell out of them. Because just when you think you've got somebody, here comes Leonard out of nowhere. And they're going to Florida State.
Yeah, and I know we got to go to break. Here's what I think resonates. again, he's a genuine guy, and I just don't think there's any substitute for the fact that when he sits down across from you, if you find out his story, if you just read his life story, if you understand what he's about, then he really, at that point, you know where he's coming from. You know what he sees in you above and beyond being a basketball player, and moreover, what he wants for you. So coaches can say that and preach it. I'm sure most do. There's a guy that's lived it, and there's a guy who's proven it time and again. So, I get it. We can make snarky comments about how we're playing ball these days, and maybe we are. I don't know. It is the crazy world of college basketball. But here's what I do know, that if it's just about the pitch, what you're selling, there's got to be a genuine article that leaps off the page or that is sitting straight across from you when he looks you in the eye and says, here's my thought about what you can be and what we'll do with you and where I think you should be and why. And you would have to listen, regardless of who the other people are that are offering you.
Yeah, and I think this is a really important commitment and signing now. We talked about the commitment a few weeks ago. But now that Dennis Gates is not a part of the staff, it's good to know that we still got that kind of pull, that Leonard still has that kind of pull.
Yeah, and it's good that CY's still on staff, and you got to...
Right.
Yeah.
Listen, Leonard's a closer. We know this.
Oh, yeah.
But, in order to be in a position
there, yeah,
to close, you need some people to get you to the 8th or 9th inning.
To identify certain folks. Speaking of 8th or 9th inning, we will get into that today, too. Look at you, Houston. What in the world? I am perturbed by this now, eh? Frauds.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
A new animated show sure to impress, starring Adam Devine and Michael Douglas. With Diane Keaton, Ilana Glazer, and your narrator, yours truly, Keegan-Michael Key. So watch us on our delicious adventure, see the Seuss hit the pan, and stay warm this winter.
Oh boy, oh boy!
Green Eggs and Ham. Try it. Now serving only on Netflix.
Hi, it's me, your nose. I'm so congested. Use the Vicks Sidex nasal spray, would you? Mouth breather. Yeah, the Vicks Sidex nasal spray starts working in seconds and lasts for up to 12 hours.
I can breathe again. Vicks Sinex nasal spray is incredible. I feel like a whole new nose. Oh, let's buy a new car so we can smell it. Oh, we're really breathing now.
For nasal congestion relief, get Vicks Sinex and breathe freely fast. Use as directed.
This Thanksgiving, think outside the oven with a brand new grill from the Ace Thanks Grilling event this Saturday, November 16th from 11 to 2. Head to your local Ace for great deals, giveaways, and turkey grilling demos, showcasing our top brands like Traeger, Weber, Big Green Egg, and more. Plus, get free assembly and delivery on grills $3.99 and up. Don't miss the Thanks Grilling event this Saturday from 11 to 2 at your local Ace. See participating stores for scheduling or exclusions. Free assembly and delivery for Ace Rewards members valid through December 24th.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
This morning you feel alone, 'cause you forgot your phone at home. So now you're forced to interact with small talk and awkward eye contact. Out here trying to survive like it's 1995. The dark ages. When your morning is hell, just go to Taco Bell.
And try the $1 grilled breakfast burritos with fluffy eggs and your choice of crispy bacon, sausage, or potatoes. Only at Taco Bell. At participating stores for a limited time during breakfast hours. Prices may vary. Tax extra.
The Florida State basketball team has one of the best records in the nation at home the last 3 years. The Tucker Center is a house of horrors for opponents. Don't miss the best ticket in town, the ACC Pack. Come see the nation's best basketball right here in Tallahassee as the Noles host North Carolina, Virginia, Louisville, Syracuse, Notre Dame, Miami, and more inside the Tucker Center. College basketball is taking the capital by storm. Don't get left out. Purchase your ACC Pack today. Call 888-FSU-NOLE or visit Seminoles.com today.
Games for Less, the only locally owned and operated gaming store in town, has Tallahassee's largest selection of new and used video games and game systems. The future of video gaming is at Games for Less, where they have both the PS4 and Xbox One. It's time to trade in your old systems and elevate your gaming experience now. Games for Less is also your headquarters for the best in retro gaming. Atari 2600, original Nintendo, Super NES, or Sega Genesis, you name it. They got it at Games for Less. Games for Less, the Super Walmart Shopping Center on Appalachia Parkway. Give them a call today at 850-219-3535. That's Games for Less.
Looking for a bit of cowboy flavor? Introducing Hardee's Southwest Patty Melt. A hearty sandwich with all the taste of the great American Southwest. We're talking a hotter, juicier, thick burger made with 100% black Angus beef, pepper jack cheese, zesty Santa Fe sauce, and enough pickled jalapenos to give it a kick. If it got any more authentic, we'd have to serve it with a cactus and a side of tumbleweeds. The Southwest Patty Melt. Now at Hardee's. Available for a limited time after regular breakfast hours at participating Hardee's. Hotter and juicier beef patty as compared to the Hardee's original beef patty.
He's to the 20, the 10, the 5, and touchdown! Just as time expires. What a big score!
You too can score big with savings offered by the City of Tallahassee. With a free home energy audit from the city, you are sure to score some major points by identifying household energy needs. We'll come to your home at your convenience, examine your structure, and provide recommendations for energy and water-saving improvements. You can also take advantage of the city's Energy Star appliance rebates. This can help you receive up to $300 on appliances such as refrigerators, washing machines, and more. And don't forget to ask about budget billing. This free program gives you more predictable bills by averaging the amount you pay each month to help avoid spikes caused by seasonal changes. With so many savings, you're sure to be a winner. Visit talgov.com or call 850-891-4968. That's talgov.com or 850-891-4968 to learn more.
This hour of the Jeff Cameron Show is brought to you by Jerry's Cigar Shop, 2810 Shera Road and 2910 Cary Forest Parkway. Online at jerrycigarshop.com. Broadcasting live from the Tallahassee Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Fiat studios in the capital city of Tallahassee. This is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Balls McWednesday, brought to you by Hobbit American Grill. Hobbit American Grill, celebrating 40 years of serving good food to good friends for good times. Online at myhobbitonline.com.
Hey, I see where Houston Nutt is chiming in that he'd be open to returning to Arkansas. Well, Houston got kind of screwed in all that situation at Ole Miss. What about me, guys? What about me? I'm a damn fine coach. Got railroaded.
I won't snitch on anybody.
I'm on my way back to Arkansas. Nope. I think that Arkansas should hire Leach, right? That makes perfect sense. It's an outpost. He can win. They've got resources. They need something to get the ball rolling on positive publicity.
Would you want to build another program in Arkansas? Wouldn't you just stay in the Pacific Northwest?
No,
he strikes me as somebody who probably wouldn't like Arkansas all that much.
Oh, I think he likes outposts like Fayetteville, man. He likes it out there in the middle of nowhere where the expectations are low. Comes in, gets him back to respectable at the very least, plays an entertaining brand of football, and people adore him.
Well, if they did go 7-5 or 8-4 or something,
hero.
And he would actually finally probably get a look somewhere, maybe.
I think it's who's gonna be the next head coach. I do. Although I'm hearing that the offensive line coach for Georgia is going to maybe be the next head coach at Arkansas. That they have it's
an obscure thing to be hearing.
That they've talked to people that the offensive line coach is going to be the guy at Arkansas. They're excited about him. That's the rumor. That's a rumor.
I wonder how you arrived to that talking point in a conversation. Odd.
That is out there. By the way, the coaches search and all that. We have a sponsor for that. It's Lane's Medical Supply, but I don't have the sheet in front of me. But the folks at Lane's Medical Supply are good people. Look them up online. I have no idea what I did with the sheet.
What were you reading over there? Is it a different read?
It's the wrong sheet. You button hook me.
I didn't button hook anybody. What are we?
You button hook me.
How did I button hook anybody?
I got no dukes.
Oh my God.
I got no dukes. Get your hands up.
Well, they got a shop in Colquitt.
Yeah, they do.
That's what I know. Emergency services are available.
Lane's Medical Shop. I'll give you the proper amount of love later, Lanes. Don't worry about it.
Yep.
I will. It'll happen. It's just not happening right now. So, hey, if you go and look up this video, it's amazing what I'm talking about in reference to the Astros. The damn cheating Astros are out here just boldly. And for the second time since 2017, the Astros now are facing an inquiry from Major League Baseball because for at least the third time in 3 seasons, they've been accused of stealing pitching signs, and not in the way that is widely accepted in terms of a practice, right? They've pledged to join the swell of investigations themselves. Well, we are so sorry. This is unacceptable. We shall also investigate ourselves. Oh, sure, have at it. We'll trust anything that the investigation produces. In response to an article in The Athletic that detailed how and when they allegedly stole signs in 2017, the Astros on Tuesday announced cooperation with an ongoing investigation. I've heard what you all have heard with all the allegations. This is not the first one that I've heard, and it's not the first one you all have heard. But like I said, the best course of action is not to speculate right now. We're going to look into it. Cooperation with Major League Baseball, and we'll find out just what happened. We're going to find out whatever there is to find out. That according to the Astros general manager, Jeff Luhnow, who, by the way, and none of these, the Astros are quickly sullying their reputation. You had the incident with the reporter, and then they lied about that. They ended up having to fire that guy. They were caught on video lying repeatedly.
You got the St. Louis Cardinals employee who worked for the Astros and guess understood the many ways that they cheat. But you know what? You don't pull the same trick on the group that taught you how to play the trick, because they probably have safety protocols in place to make sure that if you're going to cheat, you don't do it anything like them.
That is not the kind of skullduggery that we're going to put up with around here, guys.
I would think that the thief has a pretty good security system. Maybe a vault.
When you go back and look at, you can find this online. I forget the guy's name who tweeted it out, but just type in Astros cheating video, whatever. They're playing the White Sox. You'll see it. It's pretty amazing. So now they're, basically what the gist of the accusation, and it appears to certainly be true, was that they had an elaborate system that involved a camera near center field, a TV near the dugout, so they're in real time. So basically the signal from the catcher conveyed to the pitcher is known instantly, and then they would, in the case of a fastball, bang a trash can twice, change up, not at all, or vice versa.
I think it was the changeup was the bang bang.
Yeah. And you watch this particular at bat, and it's said to be one of many. And there's no doubt they're on it. I mean, there's the Evan Gattis at bat is the one I'm talking about, where he is all over fastball away. He is on it, and then changeup he lays off. Later on, he's on the changeup inside and belts it. He's still out in front, but it's squared. He hit like he knew it was coming. And there are several moments in that at bat that you go, what in the world? And then eventually, the starting pitcher for the White Sox is like, whoa, something's wrong here. I'm hearing this, and they are all over this. And he calls out his catcher, and they flip the script. They change the signal, and they cross him up. They cross wires, and he strikes out. And he had to have been thinking, gosh, the guys in the dugout got it wrong. But they literally just flipped. The same signal for a changeup became a fastball, and a signal for the fastball became a changeup, and he looked foolish, predictably. And so the Athletic article, though, in addition to that video and the things that are out there now, had several unnamed sources, along with Mike Fiers, who was a former Astro. And he confirmed on the record, unlike the others who wanted to remain nameless, how it was that the Astros swiped signs. The camera in center field would be focused on the catcher's signals. Once those signs were decoded, the Astros would watch the feed from the camera, notify the hitter by banging on a trash can for a specific kind of pitch. All of the incidents described by The Athletic took place in 2017 when the Astros won the World Series. A lot of interesting notes there.
A.J. Hinch, thoughts?
He's got problems on his hand. That entire organization, dude, there's some heavy numbers in terms of suspensions being floated around out there about this.
You were a big A.J. Hinch fan. How do you feel now?
I think he knows the game, but it looks like he took an unfair advantage and ran with it. Yeah. Here's the thing. I got it. Just can't get caught.
Listen, a camera?
You can't do a camera. You can't do a camera. No, I wouldn't do a camera, but, I mean, I'm just saying if you are, you can't get caught. I mean, this could be like 4 or 5 years. You could be in huge trouble for this.
You take it on place, you take it to the heart. The waiting is the hardest part.
Tallahassee, it's Chuck Oliver, the king of college football, and you can join me every weekday at 1 p.m. right here on Tallahassee Sports.
Sorry, boys.
It's right here, guys. We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Sellers working for you.
We make it easy, and we have the experts on staff to get you where you need to be, and we give you the options.
On Capitol Circle Northeast, just north of Mahan Drive. Call 656-8453. Online at sellerstile.com.
Xfinity delivers the fastest internet, the most Wi-Fi coverage throughout your home, and the most Wi-Fi hotspots nationwide. Only from Xfinity. Call, click, or visit an Xfinity store today to experience all Xfinity has to offer.
As the leaves are falling, so are the DeWalt prices at Cornerstone Tool & Fastener. The Build Your Own DeWalt Kit promotion is back. Buy 2 select bare tools and get a DeWalt starter kit at no charge. That's 2 5-amp-hour batteries and charger. And there's more. Purchase a DeWalt drill and impact kit and get an additional 5-amp-hour battery and a free bare tool. Choose from impacts, drills, grinders, and more. That's 3 tools and 3 5-amp-hour batteries exclusively at Cornerstone. 1110 Stuckey Ave and 3269 Crawfordville Highway. Tallahassee location open on Saturdays from 8 a.m. until noon.
This Thanksgiving, think outside the oven with a brand new grill from the Ace Thanks Grilling event this Saturday, November 16th from 11 to 2. Head to your local Ace for great deals, giveaways, and turkey grilling demos, showcasing our top brands like Traeger, Weber, Big Green Egg, and more. Plus, get free assembly and delivery on grills $3.99 and up. Don't miss the Thanks Grilling event this Saturday from 11 to 2 at your local Ace. See participating stores for scheduling or exclusions. Free assembly and delivery for Ace Rewards members valid through December 24th.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
As sports fans, we all know this is the best time of the year. And the best places to catch all the action are at the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill and 7th Hill Tap Room. If you're a fan of an action-packed environment, the Corner Pocket is the place to be. Happy hour specials every day, including all day on Sundays, with sports in HD everywhere you look. For location hours and menu, head to cptallybar.com. Whether you're feeling the upstairs at the Corner Pocket or lounging down at the 7th Hill Tap Room, your game day is always covered. 2475 Appalachia Parkway, right next to Earth Fair.
Hey, Jeff, what's going on, man?
Hello, Eddie. How the heck are you, buddy?
I'm okay. I guess we got to do this commercial.
Time for the bantering to begin.
Yeah, but you know what, Jeff? I want something different now.
You don't want to banter anymore?
I enjoy the banter. I do. But I want theme music, Jeff. Gordo's needs theme music.
Gordo's, the restaurant, the delicious food and the people and the atmosphere. Gordo's, not you personally, but Gordo's.
Yes,
I like
Gordo's, not me. I mean, of course, I would love to have people following me around playing music all the time.
Especially at Gordo's.
It's always in my head. But I need something for Gordo's. I need to have something special, something that, you know, heck, the King of the Hill has his own theme music. The Kids in the Hall. Why not me? Why not Gordo's?
Why not Gordo's? All right, I guess I'm going to be looking for some theme music.
You mean you're going to have Tom looking for some theme music?
Yeah, I heard that.
Yep, get on it, Tommy. Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
This hour of the Jeff Cameron Show is brought to you by Jerry's Cigar Shop, 2810 Shera Road and 2910 Cary Forest Parkway. Online at jerrycigarshop.com.
Hi, this is Peter Bond, owner of Jerry's Cigar Shop. Jerry's has been a local favorite for cigar enthusiasts for the last 25 years. We have the largest walk-in humidors in town, filled to the brim with an amazing cigar selection. Relax in one of our leather chairs and enjoy an ice-cold beer or a glass of wine with your cigar. Jerry's is a great place to watch sports on our big flat-screen TVs and offers a comfortable setting for lively conversation. Visit our original store on Shera Road or our new second location on Cary Forest Parkway. We hope to see you soon.
Need help moving? Two Men and a Truck Tallahassee provides professional home and business move services, both locally and long distance. For your next move, visit twomen.com or call them at 850-224-2232. Two Men and a Truck, the movers who care.
Driving every day from the Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat Studios. This is 97.9 ESPN Radio, WTSM, Woodville, Thomasville, Tallahassee.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Christine Lisi. The plan for the Cowboys, Lions, Redskins, Falcons, and Dolphins is for each to have a representative at free agent quarterback Colin Kaepernick's workout on Saturday in Atlanta. The league denied a request by Kaepernick's reps for the workout to be on a Tuesday. Tuesday is when almost all NFL workouts take place because it allows head coaches and GMs to attend them. This workout set up by the league not sitting well with ESPN's Desmond Howard.
I think it's a PR stunt, a disingenuous attempt to try to, we gave the guy an opportunity to get to the NFL. Whoever wanted to come, it's like a theater. It's like a movie. Written, directed, scripted, and produced by the NFL for their own PR purpose.
ESPN's Adam Schefter reports Saints guard Andres Pete had surgery on a broken arm, expected to miss 6 weeks. Despite the Jets' 2-7 record and fan unrest, team CEO Christopher Johnson said Coach Adam Gase will return next season. College football, Ohio State announced defensive lineman Chase Young will miss one more game for an NCAA rules violation, then return against Penn State November 23rd.
Vivid Seats, the top ticket source for the live events you crave, now has a loyalty program that allows fans to earn credit back. Go to the App Store or Google Play, download the Vivid Seats app, and enter promo code ESPN25 for 10% off your next order.
Broadcasting live from the Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee. This is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Balls McWednesday, brought to you by Hobbit American Grill. Hobbit American Grill, celebrating 40 years of serving good food to good friends for good times. Online at myhobbitonline.com.
Hour number 2, Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio. Hello, thanks for tuning to it. We do appreciate it. Hope you're well. Happy Balls McWednesday. Tomorrow, Redemption Thursday. We'll get all of our wagers going. Have you looked at the slate? What do we got? Seems like it would be a big come down after LSU rolled on into Alabama, took care of business. Alabama should be able to lick their wounds as they take on Mississippi State. So, save for the LSU game. Again, awful schedule. They have no meaningful wins. And they'll go get another meaningless win over Mississippi State. So that ain't going to help them.
We got Florida State and Alabama State, man. That's what we got.
40.5, the number for the Noles, dropping 40.5 on Alabama State. I think I'm going to take Florida and give the 6.5 to Mizzou.
It's another noon kickoff this weekend.
Sleeping Noona. Nebraska's getting 11.5. That's a different point spread. 11.5 from Wisconsin. Maybe a little intrigue surrounding Navy Notre Dame, two ranked teams going head-to-head. Let's go Navy. And would you be willing to lay the 50.5 for Ohio State, who's been a covering machine no matter the number, against woeful Rutgers?
I think I would, yes.
I would also lay the number with Clemson this weekend against Wake Forest. So away we go. Best you're going to hope for probably this week. I mean, tomorrow we get North Carolina in Pitt. No thanks. I guess I'll watch. I mean, it's football. What's the Thursday night football game for the National Football League?
Steelers-Browns.
I think the best you can hope for is a couple of games here. First of all, Georgia and Auburn play. Memphis and Houston play. All right. I think I could tune into that. I was here. I was listening earlier today. Chuck Oliver's right, man. They need Orange Bowl needs Virginia Tech to get it together, huh? There's some things out there you're kind of like,
Yeah, next highest ranked ACC team is up after Clemson, and Clemson's going to the playoff.
Yes, they are.
So the next highest ranked team amongst the ACC is?
There isn't one.
That's correct.
And Wake is going to get pummeled by Clemson, who's in the midst, is in the midst of a "we'll prove it to you, you disrespect us" moment each week. By the way, they're a covering machine. The committee should be ashamed of themselves. The one close game against North Carolina, and who, of course, beat South Carolina. And then you have this whole situation where they were docked for that early on, and they are boat racing people by 40 points every week. And yet you still sense a little resentment there. Maybe not as much because it worked out. Teams are losing ahead of the game, but
I sense resentment, absolutely, inside myself, because that's where we should be. And we're not, and they are, and it's been a while now. It's been a good long while that they've been there.
Jay Millies is asking me on Twitter, at Jay Cameron Show, these $200 million commitment to FSU football have any truth to them? I'm the guy that brought the number up, man. Listen to the last hour. That didn't come out of nowhere. That was from me.
The Periscope is on the at 979 ESPN Radio. You can catch that first segment on demand right now.
And I was giving you a ballpark number, which makes sense. Again, I think it's a fair number.
Well, if you're committing what? Let's just say it's $8 million over 7 years and low ball the Bob figure. It could be $9 million. That's by my quick math, $56 million, right?
$56 million, then you complete the football-only facility. You've got about $40 million raised for that. You're going to have to add another $60, maybe $50 million. Okay, maybe only $40 more million, but
right.
Okay.
Well, okay, so if it's 40, then you're at $96 million.
Yeah, and then he's going to want a guarantee of football operations and recruiting assistants and analysts. Yeah,
Well,
it's pretty easy to get to the number.
Coordinators won't be $750K.
Nope. They're going to be expensive. You got to pay those buyouts. You got to pay the new salaries of the guys that are brought in to be on staff, plus Bob's salary, plus the football-only facility, plus all the assistants, the off-the-field analysts, and football operations guys. Sure, yeah, that sounds about right.
So, but if you say it this way, that let's say $200 million over 7 years is the commitment.
Might
something
be over,
like that.
Might be over 10. I mean,
right.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden it doesn't become a ridiculous headline-grabbing number. It's like, well, okay. I suppose that's a little bit more doable, but a lot of that is going to be front-loaded if the football facility is, the key here. One of the big keys to making this thing happen.
And back to our last hour, I mean, I went to start the show, and I'm not trying to be dismissive. I'm sure this is what Jay Millie's got from hearing people online, and that was because we talked about it last hour, and I went 20-some-odd minutes in my explanation of where Florida State's at, where I think they should be, what they have to commit to, and where all of that's going. Now, I also said that it's not guaranteed that Bob Stoops then says, hello, I can't wait to be the next head coach at Florida State. But in order to get him to even consider it, I think this was what you kind of had to be willing to pony up and be willing to do. And so, that number, when you first hear something like that, scares the heck out of you. You're like, what in the world?
Well, because it sounds like you're signing him to a 10-year, $20 million a year deal or something,
No, yeah. Not going to do that. Listen, I, again, am just constantly searching for the I guess that number as a way of confirming for me that we're in it and that we're going to continue to be one of those schools that fights to win national championships. Because, I don't think we could handle the truth. I don't think we could. If we found out in this process, if what was revealed in this process was that we weren't willing to ante up and that this had to be a second-tier program and that's the best we were going to be able to do, I don't think we as a fan base who were brought up over the last 40 years watching this program could handle it. You don't do that for all that long and win 3 national titles and then decide, too rich for our blood, going to take it on down to the house. Let's hope to go to the, what's the bowl in Orlando? What are the
the Camping World Bowl, yeah.
I mean, you just
We're the Pinstripe Bowl. We're going to go to Fenway and Yankee Stadium. That's where we're a Northeastern tour every December. Go to an AL East ballpark near you.
It would hurt, man. It would I don't think we could. I think we would be so torn as a fan base to hear that, because that's what it would mean. If we were like, nope, can't reach that kind of level commitment because the next guy's going to want that, and everybody that's currently competing to win championships either have that or are in the process of giving that to the coach.
Or the person who you hire doesn't want it, but then they're going to say yes to it if they're successful here. So this is a stepping stone at that point. Yeah, I could see the trickle down of it.
Be devastating. Nobody wants to be part of that, and that's why I got real excited talking about it last hour. Was that I continue to hear that Florida State's had to mull that option over, but seem to be willing, and that there are real concerns. It's not to say you're going to be out from under these concerns, the financial weight of that kind of commitment, but at the same time, what you are saying is, listen, I'm willing to take this chance because I know on the back end we're going to make it back and then some. We're going to make a profit off this by winning a lot of football games, and this downturn has proven to us and shown us something that I think we already knew, but it certainly gave confirmation, which is, for that whole thing to operate the way they need it to in terms of making money and having opportunities moving forward for all the programs involved, football has to win. Football's got to win. I mean, that's what we know because they're successful everywhere else. Baseball wins, basketball wins, obviously soccer wins, volleyball wins.
Number 1 seed, that was announced on Monday in the 4 p.m. hour that the soccer team is a number 1 seed in this year's bracket again.
Lost on a golden goal to Virginia, who then turned around and lost to North Carolina, huh?
I think we're paired up with UCLA. They're the number 2, but the road to the College Cup comes through Tallahassee. As long as we keep winning before that Final Four, we play here.
Yay. Listen, would have been nice to win the ACC, but that's all right.
I don't want that if we're,
Let's win the national title, baby. Let's go ahead and get another natty and move on from there. But truthfully, in order to pay coaches who bring home national championships and continually put their programs in a position to succeed at the highest levels, well, you lose those people when you can't pay them and they get offers from other institutions, but you can't pay those people to continue to produce at the level they are if football's not winning because the money's not coming in from Olympic sports. So everybody in athletics is really counting on this to be a all-in commitment and a turnaround here in the near future.
I 100% agree that if you're going to play, you play all the way, especially at a place like Florida State. But I do think it's also reasonable to ask a question, how much is too much, considering that we're not going to have a windfall like an SEC market would in terms of automatic attendance, in terms of TV network revenue dollars. I know that there might be a bit of a bubble there, but the SEC is still going to recoup way, way more in terms of the mid-30s to 40s at minimum per year, millions of dollars more than we make year to year. Mm-hmm. So at what point, and especially since we're not near a major market where we can count on Orlando to always drive up here every weekend, or Tampa, or down from Atlanta, we need to do some convincing, and that's where I understand that the Bob Stoops hire is a splash because it gets you people committing long-term, booster contributions and ticket sales. But at what point would it be too much money? Like, what is it? $250 million?
Yeah,
is it $300 million?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
because the realities of the sport are the same. Mm-hmm. More people are going to watch it on TV.
There's a cutoff.
And the ACC network is not nearly going to be as lucrative as its Big Ten or SEC counterparts. It's just not. So, I get it. You got to spend. But at what point do we become irresponsible in that spending?
Well, that's why you hire money people, to make that decision, to look into that. I don't know. I mean, in that regard, it's probably good that Coburn is part of all of this. In some aspects, we're at a disadvantage because he is a temporary AD who only did it as a favor to the president and is more a money guy than he is an athletics guy. So he hasn't had seats at those tables with other athletic directors in the past to understand how these things work in negotiation. And I think that's a detriment. But at the same time, a money guy would be good here. So long as that money guy understands, and I think he certainly does, that we need to spend a lot of it in order to win, because winning is the only way we're going to make money through football. I'm not talking about basketball or tennis or soccer. I'm talking about football.
I really feel for him in this situation because
he's stuck.
He's brought in to reduce our costs and try to make the P&Ls look a little bit better, not to fire the head coach. He was coming. The mandate was very simple and temporary, but it's turned into this huge job that 10, 15 years from now, we're going to be looking at the David Coburn years as seminal for this program, no pun intended.
Yeah, and it's a chance for him, though. He loves this institution, multiple degrees from this institution. He's a guy that is all in on this institution. So it is an opportunity for him, along with the boosters and those involved, the higher-ups making the decision. They're all working in concert to sit down and really put their stamp on a pivotal time in Florida State football, Florida State athletics history. And you're right. They have to gauge exactly how far is too far. But they knew when they made the decision to fire Willie Taggart that they could not tread lightly and they could not be tentative. They had to go all in. If you're going to make a financial commitment, which is what this was about, right? That things were untenable. They weren't working behind the scenes. You didn't see a future that was too bright, so you made the commitment to letting Willie Taggart go. Well, when you did that, you automatically knew you were about to have to open up your pocketbooks, not just to pay him off and assistant coaches potentially and all that other stuff, but rather to pay the next guy to come in and the staff that he wants to bring and all of the asks that the next head coach was going to posit in that negotiation. So you knew in that moment, man, we're going for it. We're going for it. Well, surely you sat down with people to get a glimpse into the numbers of what going for it really means. Because you'd have to mirror, or at least come close to mirroring, the kinds of things that you see at Clemson and throughout the SEC. So they had to know. They had to know. I mean, look, we're talking about $150, $200 million. And if they didn't, if they went off half-cocked and decided to fire the guy because they thought next year's finances were going to take too big a hit, well, then it was short-term thinking and they weren't looking at the big picture, and that's a bigger problem for us to discuss at a later date.
Yeah.
Let's hope that they didn't do that. I don't think that they did. I don't get the indication that they did.
Radical idea. I don't know that I even believe it that much, but just to put it out there, Bob says no.
Okay.
We don't have a guy that we feel really great about. Maybe there's another candidate or two out there, and the timing's not right.
Right.
If you're willing to commit this much money now, would elevating Odell and paying all of that money into the facilities, into a super staff, into the recruiting that you need, into the infrastructure, with Odell at the helm guiding the vision and stumping for the university as only Odell can, really, is that crazy still? Because if we've got pocketbook power now, and we're committed to wearing it a little bit on the front end, wouldn't you be putting the next guy in a position to succeed unlike any other in program history?
I certainly would like to know whether or not Odell even wants the job. I can't tell.
Report out there today that he would be interested.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. I don't know. I really kind of want a sure thing here, both for us and for Odell, because you put Odell in that position, things don't go well. You got to fire Odell Higgins? Really? That's how the man's time at Florida State University ends? I don't like that. I feel uncomfortable with it.
I don't think he'd be fired. I think you'd give him the option to,
It's
say,
still
I'm
a
done.
blight. It's still not something you want to have happen there. Yeah. And again, there's a lot more. Maybe it would work. I'm certainly not summarily dismissing the idea that it wouldn't or that it would. But I also am not dismissing the idea that it wouldn't. He's never been a head coach, and it's a lot different role. He's been a temporary head coach. He's been a stopgap measure. He's been an inspiration in moments when Florida State needed a rallying cry and a person to look up to who believed in the institution in the same way that they did and those players did. And he fits that bill, but it's a whole different deal going into the year as the guy with a vision, a plan. And it's more than saying we're Florida State University. You're going to need.
Well, I think the plan would involve saying that a lot, though. I think that would be part of the booster. In fact, it would be 80% of the booster.
Well,
you just keep saying we're Florida State until people open up their pocketbooks.
Don't want to overlook this for those that just hopped in, but, man, what a big, big signing for Florida State basketball. Scotty Barnes signs with Florida State, and you're talking about an elite player. He's a wing. He's a guy that had offers from Kentucky, who was thought to maybe be going to Oregon. Ohio State offered him, amongst others, and he announced today that he is, and he did so proudly on his Twitter account, which I read earlier, and I'm going to read again because I really like this kid. Everything I read about this kid and everything I see him type out on Twitter or say to the press seems to ring completely true, and I think we're going to be excited about his play and also the way he represents Florida State basketball. Quote, I am proud to be announcing that next year I will be playing for Coach Hamilton and his staff at Florida State University. To all the coaches, mentors, teachers, and family members that have molded and helped me to get to this point in my journey, thank you. Oh, well said, young man. And he's got a smile that makes you smile. Not that that means anything, But it does. I like looking at that kid smile. Every time I see a picture of him smiling with Florida State gear on, I'm like, man, look at that smile. That kid's happier now.
I like how he didn't say for the next 4 years I'll be. He said for next year. I'll be there next year.
Yeah, I'll be in the NFL after that.
NBA.
What did I say, NFL? He looks like an NFL football player. He's a big kid. The Draft Express mock for 2021 is out there. You can click on it like I'm clicking on it now, and let's see where Scotty Barnes is. I know I saw him on here.
Little Control F action. You can find and type in Barnes, and it pops up.
I could. Just know that he's projected first round.
Control of my life now.
Sorry, boys.
We got this. I thought I could handle it. We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
9 ESPN Radio is brought to you by Bud Light. Enjoy responsibly. By OnQ Financial. Mortgages Simplified. And by Hardee's. Hardee's, because it tastes better.
Down the sideline. At the pylon. Touchdown.
Tallahassee Game Day. On your home for the best in Seminole sports talk. 97.9 ESPN Radio. Tallahassee's sports monster.
One of my favorite things about being a member at Orange Theory Fitness is the sense of community. Initially, after taking the tour and seeing the state-of-the-art equipment, I was intrigued. I became convinced even once I researched the science-backed, technology-tracked, coach-inspired workouts, all of that. But what I didn't count on was the support, the sense of camaraderie shown by the members and the coaches. You realize pretty quickly you're not alone. And when you're pushing yourself through barriers and attempting to be your personal best, you can use all the help you can get. And it's there. It's amongst the members and coaches at Orange Theory Fitness. To learn more, go to orangetheoryfitness.com.
A Sport Clips Championship haircut experience makes you feel like your hair has its own walk-up music. Maybe you play sports. Maybe you play sports online. Or maybe your sport is keeping up with your kids. Your hair deserves its own walk-up music, and at Sport Clips, we make it easy. A game-changing cut from a stylist trained for guys while you're surrounded by sports. Hair this good needs no introduction, but you'll want one anyway. So download the app, check in, and get your hair in the game.
Wahoo Seafood Grill, Tallahassee's leader in fresh seafood, is located right behind the Best Western on North Monroe. Lunch specials start at $7.99. Be sure to try their award-winning house-made burger. Big lunch parties are also welcome. Wahoo Seafood Grill makes lunch specials a very affordable choice. Delivery is available and plenty of parking. Wahoo Seafood Grill, easy access from any part of town using I-10. Visit them online at wahooseafoodgrill.com or call them today at 850-629-4059.
Hi, it's me, your nose. I'm so congested. Use the Vicks Sidex nasal spray, would you? Mouth breather. Yeah, the Vicks Sidex nasal spray. Starts working in seconds and lasts for up to 12 hours.
I can breathe again. Vicks Sinex nasal spray is incredible. I feel like a whole new nose. Oh, let's buy a new car so we can smell it. Oh, we're really breathing now.
For nasal congestion relief, get Vicks Sinex and breathe freely fast. Use as directed.
Thursdays are Friday Eve, and that's a reason to celebrate. No matter what you're looking for, they've got you covered every Thursday down in College Town. Centrale offers 50% off select pizzas all day, every Thursday. Or you can stop by Township for Taco Thursday. $2 house tacos, $2. Madison Social offers the Social Agreement. You and a buddy can split one order of wings, 2 Madso burgers, 2 bourbons, 2 proof Madison Socials, all for just $40. See what they did there? And don't worry about parking. Plenty of spaces available in the parking deck or surrounding lots. Check out all the Thursday College Town deals right now on ThursdaysInCollegetown.com. Hey, Seminole fans, fall is here, and Garnet and Gold has a great selection of brand new FSU fall apparel in stock right now. Long sleeve t-shirts, jackets, fleece, and sweats from brand names like Nike, Champion, and many others. Get your fall on at Garnet and Gold, owned and operated by Seminoles for Seminoles for nearly 40 years at all 3 Garnet and Gold locations, West Pensacola Street, in Killarn near Fresh Market, and on Governor Square Boulevard, or shop online 24/7 at garnetandgold.com. Shop local and go Noles.
This Thanksgiving, think outside the oven with a brand new grill from the Ace Thanks Grilling event this Saturday, November 16th from 11 to 2. Head to your local Ace for great deals, giveaways, and turkey grilling demos, showcasing our top brands like Traeger, Weber, Big Green Egg, and more. Plus, get free assembly and delivery on grills $3.99 and up. Don't miss the Thanks Grilling event this Saturday from 11 to 2 at your local Ace. See participating stores for scheduling or exclusions. Free assembly and delivery for Ace Rewards members valid through December 24th.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Win an ultimate Fan Cave experience. Text Fan Cave to 66555 and enter to win a $1,500 prize giveaway from Bud Light and Anheuser-Busch beverage distributor Tri-Eagle Sales. Win a 50-inch flat screen TV, refrigerator for your ice-cold Bud Light, and more. Text Fan Cave to 66555 or visit TriEagleSales.com. Bud Light, famous among friends. Must be 21 or older. Please drink responsibly. A message from local beverage distributor Tri-Eagle Sales.
The Jeff Cameron Show is brought to you by Cornerstone Tool and Fastener. Big store pricing with local service. Online at ctf.nu.
Good. The Jets owner says that Coach Adam Gase isn't going anywhere this season no matter what happens the rest of the year. And I, for one, think that's a wise decision. I want to continue to see that coked-out dude on the sidelines for the rest of this year and on into next. That's a bizarre-looking man. When he gets fired next year, look out, man. That guy could become a serial killer. That's a scary-looking guy. That's Every time I see that video footage of him at the press conference, you'd have been tempted in the moment to go, on second thought, we're not so sure we're going to do this year.
I'd like to introduce the next head coach of the New York Jets, but I can't right now, Adam. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
we can't.
We're not going to do that. We haven't found him yet, Adam. You want to help us find that next head coach?
What? I could. Maybe.
For days on end, no doubt. Tirelessly, you'd look for that next head coach, wouldn't you, Adam?
I don't like sitting here, so I'd rather do something.
By the way, my friends over at the Southwood Golf Club, where I'm a member, where Tom's a member, they're looking for new members. Not just me and Tom. They didn't stop there. They said, we need more.
They said, this is good. It's even satisfactory, but you know what?
We're going to need more.
We're aiming higher.
So through the end of the year, new members will receive some great benefits. No initiation fee. That's good. Less fees. All right. 1 free month of golf dues. All right, I like free as well. No fees and free. Here we go. $50 credit for the pro shop or restaurant. Of course, it's been voted the best course in Tallahassee for the second year in a row. And, they got entertainment and dancing every Friday night. It's not just a golf course. They're out there dancing over at Southwood.
I heard they offered this very promotion to one Bob Stoops.
Great food specials, perfect venue for parties and weddings. If you need more information from our friends at Southwood, give them a call today, 850-942-4653. They've got I think it's this Friday. I got to double check it. I think they got a whiskey and a cigar tasting going on.
Oh, really?
Southwood's not screwing around. Now, they're not. Southwood's coming.
I need to restore the delay for these Southwood reads. Okay. Note that, please, Director.
They're not. They're ready for you. Come on to Southwood is what they're saying. We've got scotch. And we're waiving fees and dues.
It's called the Bob Stoops Special. No initiation fees. Although I think Bob comes with an initiation fee, probably.
Bob does?
I think that's what he would tell the university. There is an initiation fee. Going to be $15 million signing bonus, upfront cash,
fee. Yeah,
unmarked bills, non-sequential.
So I got to double check this story on the situation at Ohio State, which Young was suspended, of course, for the game. He's getting another game, but Chase Young, who I am enamored with as a prospect at the next level, and the Bucs could use a pass rusher. Just saying,
won't get him.
No. He's going to miss one more game, and then he'll return in time to face Penn State. He sat out last week's juggernaut affair against Maryland, and now he's going to miss the Rutgers game. I don't know how they're going to survive, but he has missed both those contests. He admitted last week that here's the deal. He accepted some money last year from someone he described as a family friend, but repaid it in full. Although Young repaid the loan, it's still considered an extra benefit from the NCAA because Young didn't meet the friend until after his recruitment to Ohio State had started already. I want to thank and express my sincere gratitude to university staff members who work so diligently and expertly to learn and understand the facts and then to report these facts to the NCAA as part of our request to have Chase Young reinstated, said the athletic director, Gene Smith, who kowtows to Urban Meyer at all times. This is the example of the culture of compliance we have at Ohio State. Oh, is it? I also want to commend Chase Young and let him know how proud we are of him. He took responsibility for his actions. Yeah, he took responsibility for borrowing some money from a friend to fly, a girl to the Rose Bowl? And then paid it back? This is a whole lot
something
about,
your former head coach really never did.
This is really about nothing, honestly.
But it's fine.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
It's silly. I would have never told anybody nothing.
Culture of abuse, 3 games, taking money that you paid back, 2 games. Okay.
Borrowed some money to have a girl go to the Rose Bowl and pay it back. 2 games. Systematically and over the course of a very long period of time, ignore a member of your staff beating the bejesus out of his wife.
Who appealed to your wife for help.
A few games. It's about the same type of transgression. Pretty close. Pretty close to the same thing. Yeah, if I were Chase Young, if Chase Young came to me as athletic director Cameron and said, I got to tell you, Mr. Cameron, I borrowed some money from this girl and her parents to get her to come out to be with me for the Rose Bowl, and I paid it back and everything, but I just don't feel like it's on the up and up. I'd say, son.
First of all, it's Director Cameron.
Secondly, here's $500. No, we never had this conversation. Enjoy the weekend.
I appreciate your honesty, son. I really do.
To the tune of $500.
Here's $500 more dollars.
Now let's see about 3.5 to 4 sacks this Saturday, shall we? Go get them. Let's go Buckeyes. Love you, Chase. You got class? Need me to get you some food?
Check the back right pocket of your jeans after the game's over. Do you need a car?
You need anything else? You're doing God's work out there on Saturday, son. It's the least I can do. Whatever you need.
And I know, because Urban told me in his dream, he was told by God himself that you are doing his work.
Oh, man. That's like me, athletic director Jeff Cameron at Florida State University, talking about this dearth of offensive linemen that have plagued the university for the last several years and what's going to be necessary to get that turned around quickly. How do we expedite the process?
How about athletic director Cameron talking to Randy Moss after Randy Moss says, I feel bad, coach. I've got to, I like weed.
Randy, I know guys who have a lot of it. I don't need you to stop by or place a call, but I'll do that for you. Check your locker first thing tomorrow morning, son. Can't wait to see you out there at practice. Have a good day. We never had this conversation. Oh, by the way, see Mary before you leave. She smokes dope, and she has 100 bones on her. Bye, Randy. Talk to you later. If you need anything else, let me know.
And in the bag the next day, there's a vanity shot of you smiling and waving.
Waving. With a joint. Hey, Randy.
That's what it says in Sharpie. Hey, Randy.
Hey, Randy. Let's go win some games, baby. Woo! Can't wait. We're all going to be flying high real soon. See what I did there? That'd be great. Yeah, we would not have been kicking Randy Moss off the team if I had been athletic director. Definitely not. And any, conversation that began with, Jeff, we got some bad news. Now, you stop right there, Coach. Today's not the day. Tomorrow won't be either. I'll see you at practice. Let's go Noles.
So 2012, Greg Reed, would you have taken the same stance as Jimbo?
Greg Reed is not freaking Randy Moss.
Okay.
Randy Moss is a once-in-a-lifetime player, baby.
Apparently, Greg Reed is a once-in-a-lifetime punt returner for this university.
Well, he was elite. There's no doubt about that. And he could probably do that in the league if they valued those sort of things.
Yes. Hello, Tampa. Make a phone call.
I'm gonna give you $50.
But listen, I get Peter Wark came before him, and 26, can't remember his name, but it's the 06 ACC championship game against Virginia Tech, and he ends up scoring in the Orange Bowl as well. Like, we've had some good punt returners, and then Peter was elite. But I think that Greg is.
You weren't talking about Leon Washington from back in the day.
No.
Yeah. Why'd you do that?
I know. I'll get a million mentions. Yeah. But I think Greg is the once in a lifetime from about 2010 on. It's just never again will we have a dynamic punt returner.
He kind of represents, outside of the 29 straight wins and national championship that were thrown in there in between, but he kind of represents where we were inevitably going to go, which is this place of mediocrity and poor play. Just like this feeling of, man,
Willie Reed?
This will not turn around.
Is that right?
I think that might be right.
Okay. I could hear Mike Tirico's voice saying that. It could be wrong. He could be steering me in the wrong direction. But I hear Willie Reed.
He was really good. You know who's not good these days, and it makes me sad, and I brought this up earlier, and I'll mention it here. The Colts are now going to continue to bring in some kickers. They're having a hard time with old veteran Adam Vinatieri, who Vinatieri is the greatest kicker in the history of the NFL, and as I've said, is a man who, if he'd like, can certainly strut about without pants, given the amount of field goals he's made when they had to have it to win, Super Bowls or AFC championships. Blizzards, didn't matter, the pressure, he made the kick.
Yeah, especially in Massachusetts, Rhode Island, that part of the country, yeah.
These days, however, my man struggles to make extra points. He missed another one over the weekend. Another extra point over the weekend. He became the NFL's all-time leading scorer back in 2018. He will be going to the Hall of Fame, no doubt about it. Hard to watch a guy that's headed to the Hall of Fame miss this many, extra points. They've had to work out kickers. They've got bums you've never heard of rolling in there. He's only 14 of 20 for extra points this year.
6. That's a lot of misses.
Yeah, 6 is a lot.
Inside of, what is that, 38 yards?
6 is a lot if you miss from 50. I mean, I don't need you missing 6. What are we doing? That's a lot.
I think that once he's cut, he and Matt Bryant should do, a month of R&R and then 2 weeks of training, and then at halftime of the NFC and AFC championship games, whichever one you want.
Yeah.
They could do some sort of kicking contest.
Yeah,
yes, that would be fun.
It'd make a mockery of 2 elite all-time great kickers, too.
Not if there's $5 million on the line.
They don't need money. They got a lot of that, too, all for kicking a football. But, by the way, I'll say this. He's made, 70% of his extra points, which is not good. He's on pace to have the worst success rate of any kicker with at least 20 extra point attempts in the history of the National Football League. Also not good. His 73.7% success rate on field goal attempts this year, which is also not great, 14 of 19, is only slightly better than in 2003, where he had a career low. So I wonder if they look at that in 2003, where he was awful, and say, well, he had that weird outlier that year back in 2003, and he's worked out fine over the next 16 years, so maybe we should stick by him for another year, I suppose. But I'll tell you what, 6 missed extra points, I would have seen all I needed to see. And certainly on one Sunday a week ago, I saw what I needed to see.
God forbid if he plays home games outdoors. I mean, he's indoors, man.
Yeah, you got to,
that kick against Pittsburgh says it all.
I don't want to talk
about the game winner.
40 yards. He missed it by 40 yards, and it was from 40 yards. It was almost impossible to be that bad. Ugh. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I didn't have time to pack.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Genesis, you name it, they got it at Games for Less. Games for Less, the Super Walmart Shopping Center on Appalachia Parkway. Give them a call today at 850-219-3535. That's Games for Less.
Seminole Headlines, presented by Capital City Bank.
You're damn right.
Catch Jeff Corey and Ira each Tuesday night from 5 to 7 p.m. right here on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Your next haircut now has a shortcut. Introducing the Sport Clips Haircuts app. That's right, now the cut you want is just a tap away. Just download the app, check in at your neighborhood Sport Clips, and choose your Guy Smart stylist, and you're done. We'll text you when your stylist is almost ready. Then head to Sport Clips for a championship haircut experience. It's home field advantage for your hair. No appointment needed. Just download the Sport Clips app and check in. And don't forget a beard trim. Sport Clips. You choose the cut, we cut the weight.
Hey, Jeff, what's going on, man?
Hello, Eddie. How the heck are you, buddy?
I'm okay. I guess we got to do this commercial.
Time for the bantering to begin.
Yeah, but you know what, Jeff? I want something different now.
You don't want to banter anymore.
I enjoy the banter. I do. But I want theme music, Jeff. Gordo's needs theme music.
Gordo's, the restaurant, the delicious food and the people and the atmosphere. Gordo's, not you personally, but Gordo's.
Yes, I like Gordo's, not me. I mean, of course, I would love to have people following me around playing music all the time.
Especially at Gordo's.
It's always in my head. But I need something for Gordo's. I need to have something special, something that, you know, heck, the King of the Hill has his own theme music. The Kids in the Hall. Why not me? Why not Gordo's?
Why not Gordo's? All right, I guess I'm going to be looking for some theme music.
You mean you're going to have Tom looking for some theme music?
Yeah, I heard that.
Yep. Get on it, Tommy. Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
You're in charge of hiring, and Indeed has solutions, like online skills tests, which let a candidate show that they're the right hire. We'll also have a dolphin chatter excitedly in front of the perfect candidate. Okay, there's no dolphin. But skills tests, that's a for sure.
See why independent research by Silk Road shows Indeed delivers 3 times more hires than any other job site. Visit Indeed.com/promo today and get a free sponsored job upgrade on your first posting. Terms, conditions, and exclusions apply.
Hi, this is Debbie. We realize you are busy planning for the holidays, but here at the Kraft Brothers dealerships, as we celebrate our 1-year anniversary at Infinity of Tallahassee, we realize that we will be moving into our new store soon. Once it's built, we will still bring the car to you, but you may still want to visit the dealership because you're not going to believe the luxury. Well, in an effort to liquidate some of the last of the 2019 inventory, we are willing to let cars go at unheard of savings. Get into a high-end automobile at the lowest prices of the year. Listen to these as long as they last prices on 2019s. Q50 up to $5,000 off. QX60s $9,000 off. QX60 Limited $10,000 off. QX80s $11,000 off. QX80 Limited, are you ready for this? $12,000 off. When we say while they last, we really mean it. Save now at the new Infinity of Tallahassee.
A Kraft Brothers dealership.
There's an app to save on flights, an app to rent a bike, and an app to help you save for driving safely. The Allstate app gives you real-time driving feedback with DriveWise, giving you the power to lower your insurance cost. In fact, safe drivers can save 40% or more. Connect and save with DriveWise. You're in good hands.
Download the Allstate app today. Savings may vary by state and driving behaviors. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Use of Allstate Mobile with activation of DriveWise required. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
AAA Tree Experts and Landscaping has been a Tallahassee staple for over 35 years. But did you know they now offer holiday lighting? AAA holiday lighting services include design consultation, setup, and takedown maintenance and lighting storage. Call them today for all your outdoor holiday lighting needs. 850-385-3319 or visit them online at AAATreeExperts.net. AAA Tree Experts and Landscaping, and now holiday lighting.
Oye, amigo, it is the Dan Le Batard Show on ESPN Radio.
This from the Detroit Free Press. A tweet from the Detroit Free Press. Watching the Detroit Lions is like eating a sandwich, except the sandwich is on fire, and you're on fire. Everything's on fire, and you're in hell watching the Lions.
The Dan Le Batard Show, weekdays at 10 a.m. on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Broadcasting live from the Tallahassee Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Fiat studios in the capital city of Tallahassee. This is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Balls McWednesday, brought to you by Hobbit American Grill. Hobbit American Grill, celebrating 40 years of serving good food to good friends for good times. Online at myhobbitonline.com.
Summer. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio. By the way, I have to confess to enjoying what Memphis and Penny Hardaway are doing with the Weissman deal. We're just going to play him. But he's ineligible. No, we're going to play him. He's going to play for us tonight. Well, yep. What are you going to do? You stop us from playing him? He's starting. Have a good one. Thanks for weighing in, everybody. They lost, by the way, to Oregon, who's ranked and a good team, 82-74. He had 14 points, 12 boards. Played not as much in the first half after having 2 quick fouls, but then got in the game. Of course, it's the second game since the NCAA investigation revealed on Friday that he was, quote-unquote, according to the NCAA, likely ineligible. And the reason he was considered ineligible was because Penny Hardaway, who was at the time a coach of a high school in Memphis, helped give him or gave him money to help move for he and his family to relocate from Nashville to Memphis in the summer of back in 2017. So Penny was not the head coach at Memphis at the time that he did that. He was a high school coach. And, he went on to say after that game, by the way, when asked about the decision to play him and did it cost his team, listen, I'm not going to make excuses. I don't think it had anything to do with us playing him. As for Wiseman himself, he said, I can't speak on it. Memphis issued a statement. And he is, by the way, the nation's top-rated recruit. He's a first-round draft pick to be, probably the first pick next year. And they originally said that, he would miss games while the university worked to restore his eligibility, but the school also said it supports his challenge of the NCAA. And that if they wanted to, they would try their best to get a temporary restraining order and let him play. It was obtained by his attorney, and that's what's happened. He grabbed 17 points, 9 boards, 5 blocks, and their win the other night over the weekend against Illinois Chicago. The NCAA now says, we think he's ineligible, and the university chose to play him and ultimately is responsible for ensuring its student-athletes are eligible to play. And there'll be a court hearing. But I have said before on the show, years and years ago when we talked about this, especially with some of these dubious notions from the NCAA as to where they decide to crack down and where they intentionally look the other way, especially on the heels of, the FBI investigation of coaches paying players all over the country, right? You got a very rich, admittedly, high school coach in the form of Penny Hardaway loaning a family money to help relocate, help them move. Of course, that's his prerogative. Now, was he looking big picture? I'm sure. Is it dubious? Yeah. Is it anything close to as bad as half the stuff we've read about that goes on with basketball and some of the bigger name coaches and recruits that have gone to whether it be Arizona or Duke or Louisville? No, not even close. Not even close. And I've said before, I remember back in the day, I think it was Alabama got in trouble for some players that were selling books back or whatever. And I thought, what would the NCAA ever do? Because that storyline, it evades me right now, but that was like 10, 15 years ago. But I remember thinking, this is silly. A kid got $50 for a book. What are we doing? And at the time, I said, what if they just said no? No, we're not going to adhere to that. He's practicing this week, and he's going to play on Saturday. What are you going to do?
Yeah, they just wouldn't recognize it in the books, but you could still hang the banner and do whatever the hell you want.
And they would, It's well, and if a bunch of Power 5 schools or a bunch of schools were like, we're not doing this, man. You guys, you're here to oversee the big stuff, not this ticky-tack stuff. We're not doing it. No, we're not going to abide by what you tell us to do.
Things are going in that direction anyway for Power 5 football.
Feels that way.
I don't know about basketball when you're talking about the big conferences, if that's going to be, part and parcel, but definitely with football bringing in for even the best universities in terms of basketball programs, 70 to 80% of the revenue. If you're talking about it's a Power 5 football program like a Duke or a Kentucky, and you look at what percentage of dollars the actual football TV deal brings in versus basketball TV deal, the revenue is in football. So I would think they're going to go that way at some point because the realities for an FBS team in the Sun Belt are not the same as one from the SEC. You just can't do it. You can't have the same rules for those two schools.
And also, I think the NCAA probably began to recognize that and thus floated out the whole idea of players being able to work and get paid for their likeness and everything else.
Well, yeah, in the moment that the likeness stuff actually,
becomes a reality.
It's 2021, they said, before it becomes some sort of reality.
It was kind of hollow when they did it, but they're floating it out there because they know.
We're moving towards needing a college football commissioner. I think that's where this thing is going.
Jimbo used to preach that all the time.
Yeah.
And he wasn't wrong.
He wasn't wrong about a lot of things. Maybe the conversation we're having today is something that Jimbo talked about needing. The problem is when you let your own program turn into crap and you don't pitch it right because you run off everybody that you'd need to help you, they're going to tell you no.
Well, we used to argue this, and you're talking about the stuff we've mentioned throughout the show today about the kind of money Florida State has to pony up, both for facilities, and analysts, and assistants and everything else. Yeah, every coach preaches that. Every coach knows that it's needed, or certainly they want it, in order to compete at the highest level. That was never the problem. We never had an issue with him voicing his concerns about the next big thing. Every coach does that at institutions where they seek to compete at the highest levels in football. It was the way you asked and the way you ignored your own problems. This was not a well-oiled machine. You had an offensive line coach that couldn't bring in offensive linemen, and you never held them accountable. You had a strength and conditioning coach. Well, I guess I shouldn't get into that, but you had a guy,
Well, kids weren't looking like they were at Alabama.
Well,
anyway. If you wanted to talk about the job.
And then there was also the other thing. And so, people weren't being held accountable across the board. The program was flying into the side of a mountain. And so you weren't in a real position to ask the way that you asked for those things. And by the way, he was never told no either. So that was the other problem that I had with all that.
The yeses are more expedited right now because we don't have much leverage.
Right.
You're not already under contract next, coach.
Yeah, no. That's to be sure. Those are going to happen a little bit more rapidly. But you're right. Yeah, you didn't have your own backyard cleaned up, and so you couldn't be in a position to bully everybody the way that you wanted to do. And plus, you were flirting with somebody else every year. How committed were you to being here? It works both ways. That was kind of the whole retort. And personal relationships really kind of got in the way of that whole thing. By the way, one other NFL note, and I really think it's I know it's significant historically, big picture, socially, all that stuff, but I also think it's just it's late in coming and not something that anybody even really cares about. And my point was that I don't know what the hell these NFL teams were doing being so frightened. If you had a backup quarterback who you didn't believe in, a backup quarterback, not a starter, but a backup quarterback that you thought couldn't play and you were in a real dangerous situation, why hadn't somebody signed Colin Kaepernick yet? People aren't outraged anymore. You could sign Colin Kaepernick tomorrow. Nobody would care. Nobody. No, it would be part of a bigger movement, and that talking point, I got it. But, people wouldn't be up in arms. They wouldn't stop going to your games. It's ridiculous. Nobody cares. We got it.
Yeah, Eric Reed has been playing the NFL this whole time.
Listen, I get it. Now, if you want to have a different discussion surrounding the issues that Colin Kaepernick was drawing attention to, that is a different discussion. It can be polarizing. I don't know why, really, but I get it. But there was nothing about, hey, listen, I got a sorry-ass backup. I think Colin Kaepernick's probably better than he is, and I'm about winning some football games, so we're going to sign this dude. Okay? You think the fans in that place are going to go, oh, no? Well, the reason it comes up today, and the reason I bring it up here, is that it looks like he's going to start to get tryouts. Dallas is going to be there amongst several other teams, and he's going to throw for a lot of teams, and it looks like he's probably on his way to getting signed by somebody.
What I never understood is the argument that he wasn't good enough to be a backup.
That's
just nuts. He always was. He always was plenty good to be. You look. They had Joel Webb who got signed last year.
There's some backup quarterbacks in this league we thought were out of the league 10 years ago, and then when you hear their name announced, you're like, what? That dude's in the league?
Like Webb was out of football for 3 years, and he was signed to be a backup last season.
Sure.
I was like, oh God.
Who was that dude the Jets trotted out there that one week? Luke, whatever. That was crazy. I'm like, that poor bastard's not better than my high school quarterback.
He was forgettable before. He's forgotten after.
It happened in a hurry.
But the thing is, the argument is, and this is where I try to be fair on this, because what Colin believes, his belief aside, if you've got a candidate like a Tebow or a candidate like Colin Kaepernick to be your backup, and they're going to draw attention every week as a sidebar by themselves for a backup,
you got the PR stuff. No, I got that. I'm just talking about from ability and what would happen. And if a team recognized that, hey, listen, there's a way to present this. There's a way for this to work out, for us to sign him, and he helps our football team. I don't think anybody's flipping out about that. I don't.
Not anymore, no. They would have in the beginning.
Yeah, not anymore, though. That's my point. This is a little bit late in the game. It's so funny. I think back on how sensitive everybody is, especially since it was, I mean, this was straightforward. It was a protest. It was a simple protest against police brutality. Who the hell? Who's arguing with that?
They're arguing the time and place, and I'm not.
No, we're not.
Are we rehashing this?
No, we're not. But I'm saying this. There have been a lot of things done by owners, players, coaches, said countless things that are way more controversial than that.
I agree with you, and I also agree, and we need to remember that he was actually sitting in the beginning, and he talked with a veteran, and the veteran said it's more respectful to kneel. It was a symbol of respect. So I'm not going to myself.
Anyhow, we don't need to relitigate this, but anyhow,
I don't know why we are.
Well, no, it's just because it's in the news today. I'm not going to ignore the fact that he's getting tryouts finally. Yeah. It's about time, and so I would imagine somebody's going to sign him because there's a whole boatload of sorry-ass backups out there, and he's better than a whole bunch of them. He's not a very good...
always was. Yeah, if this was on merit, he would have been signed right away.
Easily. Final hour, forthcoming. Stay with.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Go to OrangeTheoryFitness.com.
At Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram, we haven't offered employee pricing in over 10 years. It's back. Get some incredible deals, like a new 2019 Ram, $1,500 up to $7,500 off MSRP, plus 0% for 60 months on the 2019 Motor Trend Truck of the Year. A huge savings only at Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Here's another, a new 2019 Jeep Grand Cherokee, up to $4,000 off MSRP. A new 2019 Dodge Challenger SXT, up to $6,000 off MSRP. Buy one for only $26,999 during our Dodge Power Dollars sales event. Employee pricing plus everyone qualifies going on right now. Only at Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram, where we're right on the corner and always right on the price. Visit us on the web at TallahasseeDCJ.com. Pricing on in-stock vehicles only, plus tax, tag, and dealer fee with approved credit. See dealer for details.
Just like football, when it comes to the court of law, you're going to need a solid defense. I'm Michael D. Blank, attorney with the Law Office of Jose Fernandez in Tallahassee. At the Law Office of Jose Fernandez, there is never an upfront fee, and if we don't recover, then you don't pay anything. Our team is dedicated to handling all types of accident, injury, negligence, malpractice, and wrongful death cases. If you're unable to come to us, we can come to you day or night. Call us now, 855-HOSE-305, for your free consultation today. The Law Office of Jose Fernandez. We don't get paid until you do. Offices, Tallahassee, Miami. JRFinjury.com. Go Noles.
Looking for a bit of cowboy flavor? Introducing Hardee's Southwest Patty Melt. A hearty sandwich with all the taste of the great American Southwest. We're talking a hotter, juicier, thick burger made with 100% Black Angus beef, pepper jack cheese, zesty Santa Fe sauce, and enough pickled jalapenos to give it a kick. If it got any more authentic, we'd have to serve it with a cactus and a side of tumbleweeds. The Southwest Patty Melt. Now at Hardee's. Available for a limited time after regular breakfast hours at participating Hardee's. Hotter and juicier beef patty as compared to the Hardee's original beef patty.
As sports fans, we all know this is the best time of the year. And the best places to catch all the action are at the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill and 7th Hill Tap Room. If you'd like a laid-back atmosphere, the 7th Hill Tap Room is your spot. 24 craft brew taps, plus wine options as well. And when you want to watch the pros, enjoy half off all craft drafts all day on Sundays. So, whether you're feeling the upstairs at the Corner Pocket or lounging down at the 7th Hill Tap Room, your game day is always covered. 2475 Appalachia Parkway, right next to Earth Fair.
T-Spark Enterprises, roofing and construction services. T-Spark, TSparkConstruction.com.
Are you starting a new business or expanding your business? Looking for the right general contractor to assist you with a tenant space build-out? Look no further. From restaurant to retail, we have the experience to work with you. At T-Spark Enterprises, we are ready to be a part of your vision and build a space that exceeds your expectations. Whether you're looking for design build or build from your own design, give us a call today for a free consultation. As the owner of T-Spark Enterprises, I guarantee when it comes to your business space, we only provide picture-perfect results.
Call 850-766-1340. T-Spark Enterprises. Enterprises, roofing and construction services. T-Spark, tsparkconstruction.com.
License number CGC 1525336.
He's to the 20, the 10, the 5, and touchdown! Just as time expires. What a big score!
You too can score big with savings offered by the City of Tallahassee. With a free home energy audit from the city, you are sure to score some major points by identifying household energy needs. We'll come to your home at your convenience, examine your structure, and provide recommendations for energy and water-saving improvements. You can also take advantage of the city's Energy Star appliance rebates. This can help you receive up to $300 on appliances such as refrigerators, washing machines, and more. And don't forget to ask about budget billing. This free program gives you more predictable bills by averaging the amount you pay each month to help avoid spikes caused by seasonal changes. With so many savings, you're sure to be a winner. Visit talgov.com or call 850-891-4968. That's talgov.com or 850-891-4968 to learn more.
Hi, this is Debbie. We realize you are busy planning for the holidays, but here at the Kraft Brothers dealerships, as we celebrate our 1-year anniversary at Infinity of Tallahassee, we realize that we will be moving into our new store soon. Once it's built, we will still bring the car to you, but you may still want to visit the dealership because you're not going to believe the luxury. Well, in an effort to liquidate some of the last of the 2019 inventory, we are willing to let cars go at unheard of savings. Get into a high-end automobile at the lowest prices of the year. Listen to these as long as they last prices on 2019's. Q50 up to $5,000 off. QX60s $9,000 off. QX60 Limited $10,000 off. QX80s $11,000 off. QX80 Limited, are you ready for this? $12,000 off. When we say while they last, we really mean it. Save now at the new Infinity of Tallahassee.
A Kraft Brothers dealership.
Driving every day from the Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat Studios. This is 97.9 ESPN Radio, WTSM, Woodville, Thomasville, Tallahassee. Broadcasting live from the Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee. This is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Balls McWednesday, brought to you by Hobbit American Grill. Hobbit American Grill, celebrating 40 years of serving good food to good friends for good times. Online at myhobbitonline.com.
Final hour of the Jeff Cameron Show, at least for today. Thanks for tuning to it, and a fine Balls McWednesday to you and yours. Appreciate everybody jumping on board with us. I'm Jeff. That's Tom. We're online, ESPNTallahassee.com. That's where you're going to listen live via the streaming free always. Don't miss anything. Sometimes you do. We got it. You lead busy lives. It happens. And if it happens to be that you miss portions of the program, just know we post all 3 hours on iTunes, where you can rate, review, 5 stars, share with others. Thanks for doing all that. You can also find it in the archived audio on our webpage, ESPNTallahassee.com. The email is jcs@979ESPNradio.com. On Twitter, it's @JCameronShow. Don't forget about the WTSM app. And hello, YouTubers and Periscopers. We've seen an uptick in a number of people watching on YouTube and Periscope lately. I don't know what's going on with that. I don't know if...
Maybe when there was a coaching change, they said, all right, let's tune into this. This is the greatest show I've ever seen.
Yeah, who knows? Speaking of which, not the greatest show, but the coaching search. I will just tell you that, it's interesting goings on right now. I have, if you guys have noticed, been sort of in the backdrop on the coaching stuff. Other people have spent an awful lot of time dissecting what is, what may be, what they hope to be going on. But there's a lot of sort of misinformation. It's kind of convoluted. There didn't appear to be anything so clear-cut beyond the fact that Florida State was, in fact, pursuing Bob Stoops. I'd confirmed that, as has everybody else that covers this team. But where I laid back was I wasn't so quick to say that he was in town, because he wasn't, and I wasn't so quick to say that deal was imminent, as in last week lot of people thought it was coming. I thought there was no chance in hell that was going to happen, that this is way too detailed and layered for that to happen overnight. And I've also been, for those closest to me that I've had this conversation with, more inclined to believe that Florida State would have a hard time getting Bob Stoops. Bob Stoops likes to be flirted with. Bob Stoops likes to be courted. Bob Stoops wants the attention and the praise and, the offer, frankly. He did this with Florida. He's doing it with us now. He's rumored to have had other offers, but in the past, he has decided against it. Now, most of the time I've thought that had to do with the proximity to the time in which he retired. It was still too soon. He was still enjoying time with his daughter and his son, and he was still having an opportunity to spend some quality time with his wife, and just really kind of the very reason you would retire, right? Just to get away, recharge the batteries, and really maybe make a decision about what you're going to do with the rest of your life, whether that's to go back into football at all, if there's a pang down deep that says you should do it, because he was in his 50s, of course, or whether or not you rather enjoyed the peace and quiet that comes with retirement. He has no money fears after all. The opportunity to spend time with your loved ones is a very real thing. And given that his father died on the sidelines, right? Dropped dead on the sidelines.
Yeah.
This has always been, I think, a concern for any of the Stoops, is the stress and all that comes with. Money's certainly nice, but you work tirelessly, and whether or not you wanted to get back in that. So I thought more time would have to go by. And I just didn't know if we were at a place where enough time would he entertain this idea. But Florida State has been pursuing Coach Stoops, Bob Stoops, and it's just a matter now, I think, whether or not he would be willing to say yes. I know that, for example, there are a lot of rumors about what the deal would entail. And so I'm just going to address a little bit of this. I'm not going to get into the nuts and bolts of what a contract would look like. I can't know that. I mean, it's safe to assume it'd be in the neighborhood of $8 million a year over a number of years, right? 5 years, 7 years, I don't know. So for every time you hear somebody say, yeah, well, he doesn't really want to coach very long. He wants to just kind of coach for a few years and then kind of maybe move into a administrative role like an AD or something like that. Well, don't tell recruits that. That's not what you do. Then you're screwed. So don't do that.
Right. So the contract would have to be minimum 5 years to attract kids to say yes.
Minimum.
Yeah.
So
unless you have a clear line of succession and you say, I'm here, here's the answer after that, and here's how we
I still
go.
wouldn't do it. I need the splash and the full impact of said splash, and you got to sell the hell out of it for recruiting purposes. I don't want, hey, we're doing this, but the caveat is 4 years from now, 5 years from now, 6 years from now, this other guy's in place. Don't do it. Don't do it. Just go all in on Bob, make it a 7 or 8 year deal, be done with it. Now, here's what I'd say to all that, and I've been consistent about this. Bob Stoops is the kind of coach that can demand, and Florida State's not in a position to say no right now to much of anything, an awful lot in the way of infrastructure. We always make reference to that word, right? It's not just about what Bob's making. It's about who Bob would want to bring in, all of the amenities that he feels he needs to compete for national championships. It's as simple as that. This was always going to be about whether or not Florida State was willing now to step into the modern era and play big boy football. Were they going to compete with the likes of Clemson and the IPTAY Fund, Alabama, with hundreds of years and alumni and everything else? Were they going to say yes to the stuff behind the scenes that gives you the upper hand over the vast majority of teams that you play? So that would be assistance to each coach in the world of recruiting. So recruiting assistants, football operations guys, analysts. These are all things that Bob Stoops is going to ask for if he wants the job. Because why? Well, he's being tasked with fighting for and trying to win the Atlantic Division and national championships, and Clemson has all those things in place. So you're not going to come in here with your arm tied behind your back. You're going to want the best chance to win. And then you also have to out-recruit programs like that, like Alabama, like Georgia, Florida, and all those schools now are committing those resources and those coaches and analysts for their football programs. So in addition to that, he would want that, and he would want a guarantee that sooner rather than later, the football-only facility will be up and ready to roll. I believe Florida State's raised somewhere in the neighborhood of $39 million for that up to this point. It's going to cost about $100 million. So ultimately, you're talking about somewhere in the neighborhood of $175, $200 million to play big-time college football and to compete for championships. Florida State's at a crossroads and in an interesting position. I hope, and by all accounts that I'm hearing, they have shown the willingness to play that kind of ball. Like that chips are on the table, they're all in, hats in the ring, let's go. Doesn't mean Bob says yes, but by all accounts, I'm hearing that that's kind of where we're at, right? Give or take $10 million, whatever that is. This deal will not get done over $10 to $15 million. If that's all that's standing in the way, Florida State would be crazy to not commit all the way in because you're paying it off over time and you're playing the long game. It's the analogy I used yesterday. It's like buying a house. The price tag of a house will scare the hell out of you.
Well, and people will be buying tickets left and right, understanding that next year is going to be tough, but they'll do so because they're also investing, and so they can continue
help
to
out,
pay for those tickets and have their seats in place for when this
when they're kicking ass, which it most certainly.
It's a good pitch at that point for this ticket office.
Absolutely, and so you're playing the long game. It's like buying a $500,000 house, which in the initial moment you say, "Ooh, I don't know, $500,000." Well, hey, listen, man, you're not paying it off tonight.
I think Noles in general will be more motivated to spend a couple extra bucks on whatever level they're at, right? Maybe upgrade to a new level. I think a lot of people will be galvanized to do that, given that if the university is having to commit all this money, I think people will feel compelled to either make that trip that they weren't going to make otherwise, or up their booster level because they see the price tag and they go, this is a critical moment in our program's history.
It is, and it would signal that once again, for the second time in its career, in its history, in its program's history, Florida State had stepped up to the table and decided they were all in. They have somehow found a way for so many years to be able to compete at the highest levels and win championships despite not having some of the built-in advantages that older schools do. And they did it when they turned the erector set into a thing of beauty, which is that stadium, right? And they've done it time and again. Now, they got away with stuff for a long, long time because of Bowden. But basically, this is that point again. This is the second crossroads that the university is at. They got to decide. You want to be that team? You want to compete with Alabama? Do you want to compete with Georgia and Florida and Clemson? Do you want to compete with all the teams that we associate with the upper echelon, the elite of the elite, the creme de la creme of college football? If the answer is yes, this is the asking price. This is what it's going to cost. And if they say, it hurts, we're not in as good a position as many of these other schools are to do this, but we recognize this signals the next 50 years of Florida State football and what we are and what we're committed to being, so we're going to do it. We're going to find a way by hook or crook. We're going to leverage to our eyeballs, and we're going to sell off assets. We're going to do whatever we have to signal this is our lot. We're all in. And at that point, we all should commit just as they do. And I think you can sell that very easily because it's self-evident, and it's something to celebrate. Now, if you say no, well, get ready to be a second-rate program that might get lucky once every 10 years.
And by saying no, you're talking about the university and booster structure.
Yeah, I'm talking
because
about
Bob could still say no.
Oh, Bob could say no.
He could say, geez, you really want all that? I wasn't serious, guys.
Yeah, no, he could. But I just want to know that we're willing to do that.
Well,
and if he says no, he says no. But at least I know where we're at.
Well, if we're willing to do that, then
it's huge.
I think it's plug and play for the next person who's interested here in coming here. I just throw it out there, like PJ or Campbell or whoever.
Yeah.
Right. You don't have to commit as much money, but now that you've already kind of broken down the barrier in your mind as an administration that this is what's necessary, then you can offer 80% of that package to Campbell. Or I'm not saying I want him over Bob.
Not over Bob.
But if that's the thinking, that you've committed to, and Bob still says no, and it's not our fault, it's completely Bob's decision. And he says, never mind.
Yeah.
Well, then at least we've begun that new way of thinking.
No, it's great. It's huge. It would be absolutely a breath of fresh air if it happens. It means that we're committed. And right now, I'm just holding my breath. I mean, like everybody else, I'm not getting so caught up in it that it rules my days. But I'm just trying to gauge, like, A, who's number 2 on the list, and B, have we thrown that much onto the table? Have we committed to that? Because if we've committed to that and he says no, then we did our part and we got to move on, and so be it. I'll be all right with that. Who knows? We'll see. Chef Cameron Show 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
.38 in Bannerman Crossing.
Looking for the slant. This time Terry's got it. And he's into the end zone. That's a Florida State touchdown.
The Jeff Cameron Show crew will be on hand for every Seminole away football game for contests, prizes, and a good time.
They'll feed it to him again. Look out. Touchdown.
So when the Noles hit the road, join us at Hangar 38 in Bannerman Crossing, the exclusive watch party headquarters for 97.9 ESPN Radio, Tallahassee's sports monster.
Ho, ho, ho! The holidays are here, and the Florida Lottery has the must-get gifts of the season. Holiday Luck Scratch-Offs. They offer over 21 million winning tickets and more than $483 million in cash prizes. Wow! These are great!
Santa, where are you going?
Gotta get one!
Holiday Luck Scratch-Offs. Pretty much everyone's gonna want them. The Florida Lottery. It's your ticket.
Claim it!
Must be 18 or older to play. Play responsibly.
Hi, this is Peter Bond, owner of Jerry's Cigar Shop. Jerry's has been a local favorite for cigar enthusiasts for the last 25 years. We have the largest walk-in humidors in town, filled to the brim with an amazing cigar selection. Relax in one of our leather chairs and enjoy an ice-cold beer or a glass of wine with your cigar. Jerry's is a great place to watch sports on our big flat-screen TVs and offers a comfortable setting for lively conversation. Visit our original store on Sharer Road or our new second location on Cary Forest Parkway. We hope to see you soon.
That's the sound of NyQuil Severe hard at work. NyQuil Severe is the best sleep with a cold medicine. No tossing and turning, just rest and recovery. So you're ready to take on tomorrow. For powerful relief of your worst cold and flu symptoms, try NyQuil Severe. The nighttime sniffling, sneezing, coughing, aching, stuffy head, best sleep with a cold medicine. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
From the notebook of James Naismith to the halls of the Donald L. Tucker Center, the game of basketball has always been a Tallahassee fan favorite. The Seminole basketball team offers you the opportunity to become a bench warmer. You never know when your number's getting called. Fans now have the opportunity to purchase a $200 lower level season ticket and sit in a different seat every game. You could sit courtside as the Noles host North Carolina, Louisville, Virginia, Syracuse, Notre Dame, and Miami, and all for only $200. Purchase your tickets and become a bench warmer. Call 888-FSU-NOLE or visit Seminoles.com today.
Looking for a bit of cowboy flavor? Introducing Hardee's Southwest Patty Melt. A hearty sandwich with all the taste of the great American Southwest. We're talking a hotter, juicier, thick burger made with 100% black Angus beef, pepper jack cheese, zesty Santa Fe sauce, and enough pickled jalapenos to give it a kick. If it got any more authentic, we'd have to serve it with a cactus and a side of tumbleweeds. The Southwest Patty Melt. Now at Hardee's. Available for a limited time after regular breakfast hours at participating Hardee's. Hotter and juicier beef patty as compared to the Hardee's original beef patty.
This is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
To do this, I love this kind of stuff, and so when I saw the article, I was like, ooh, I wonder who Tampa's will be, because we've had several. But ESPN.com did a article today, NFL article, I should say, and it was put together by staff writers, so there's no one person that I can credit. But if you go to ESPN and click on the NFL, you'll see an article entitled 32 NFL One-Hit Wonders. And they got into all these guys that, you saw, and they had their moment in the sun, but were quickly out of the league and or ineffective. And the first guy I thought of, not for Tampa, but remember when Cleveland had Peyton Hillis? I mean, and how that dude was on the cover of Madden? That guy was on the cover of Madden.
He's jacked out of his mind.
Unstoppable. He was Mike Allstott, part 2. It was unbelievable, right?
Yes, he was, yep.
And then he was gone. And he was useless, out of the league. And so here, I'll admit, I'm old because I can vaguely remember some of these guys that did amazing things for either a season or a game or two for which Tom was not even born. Like, you don't know Clint Longley. I know of the Clint Longley story. I don't remember it when it happened. It was 1974, but in my early years, it had happened recently enough that every Thanksgiving, when Dallas would play Washington, they would bring up the Clint Longley game. They did it once more in the last 5 years, but in my youth, they brought it up every year. And who was Clint Longley? Well, he's a quarterback for the Cowboys who, in a must-win game against Washington on Thanksgiving, the Cowboys trailed 16-3. Roger Staubach was knocked out with an injury. Longley was a rookie. He hadn't thrown a pass in a game, was asked to go in and save the day, and he promptly went 11 of 20 for 203 yards and 2 touchdowns, including a 50-yarder to Drew Pearson with 28 seconds to play to win 24-23. They wouldn't stop talking about the Clint Longley outing that day for 20 years. Now, unfortunately, since it happened in 1974, you will have no recollection even after the retelling of the Longley story because...
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, they did it all through the 80s.
I live in a civilized era, yes.
But that's one example. David Tyree is another great one for the Giants, who got really lucky and made a ludicrous catch that he should have never made, which saved the day and beat the Patriots and screwed them out of an undefeated season, which I actually didn't like because I wanted to see the undefeated season happen. But Matthews Eagles, A.J. Feely with a 4-1 stretch as a starter in 2002 comes to mind. People bring up old A.J. Feely. Was he alive in 2002?
He would have been 6 at that point.
He wouldn't remember.
Dear God.
That's crazy. So you wouldn't remember Tim Smith, the running back for Washington, who in 1988 ended up being a superstar and setting a Super Bowl record, 204 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns and a 42-10 win over the Broncos. I remember the game very well, sir. You were 2. I was a junior in high school.
There you go.
Yeah, I remember it well.
So this is your 30 year. You just passed your 30-year anniversary for high school.
I graduated in 89.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
That's something.
Yeah. Speaking of which, since we're on the subject, not reliving a past here, but it's notable. I will not be,
Uncle Rico.
I will not be on the air this Friday. My high school, Lakewood High School in St. Petersburg, they had an undefeated season this year. And that had never been done before, save, just saying, for the 1 year that we did it, my senior season at Lakewood. And because they have now done it again and are playing in the state playoffs, they're in the state semifinals, they're trying to cash in the check we never did. We lost in the state semifinals that undefeated season. We were the first, and prior to this year, only undefeated team in Lakewood history. They've reached out to me and many of the other starters from the Lakewood team of that year and asked that we be present at that game this Friday night. And they're going to introduce us, and it's going to be cheesy, I suppose, but my kids said I have to go and do this, and so I will. And admittedly, I want to see the fellas. I get to see William Floyd, but I don't get to see a lot of the other guys all that often, and so I'm excited about that. But I will be gone Friday, so we will not be doing a show, and you guys can survive. It is Alabama State after all. So
Those are both schools in Alabama.
Yeah, that's true.
Right.
That's true. So on Friday when we're not here, when I'm not on the air, don't think I'm playing hooky. I'm just I said yes to my.
I'll be at the corner pocket for a 3 o'clock, and I'll go, what? I guess I have a Guinness right now.
All right,
okay.
Sounds good. Yeah, so we'll be off on Friday. Do you remember Rashaan Salam?
Oh, you bet I do. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Heisman winner at Colorado, taken in the first round, drafted by the Bears, rushed for over 1,000 yards his rookie season, 10 touchdowns, and failed to rush for 500 yards the next season, was cut after the 97 season, out of the league within 4 years. That is nuts.
Yeah, Rashaan Salam was around the same time as Curtis Enis. Remember Curtis Enis?
Curtis Enis, stud, Penn State.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, hurt his knee. Penn State had a streak of guys that got hurt that were great running backs. And, good old Curtis Enis. So I didn't remember this, and it just happened, and you will. The Packers, the player they used was Jeff Janis.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember Jeff Janis.
Had 2 catches during the entire 2015 regular season before his 7-catch, 145-yard, 2-touchdown game in the divisional round of the playoffs at Arizona, including a 41-yard Hail Mary touchdown to force overtime. That was pretty much the end of his career. He had 2 catches for 12 yards during the entire 2017 campaign, and peace.
Yeah, I remember it because he was a guy that people debated about as a flyer to take, the next week, because fantasy playoffs. And
Right.
I do playoff redrafts, and so Jeff Janis was somebody that...
Maybe I'll take a Jeff Janis.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll get screwed.
Yeah. Do you remember Quentin McCord for the Falcons in 2002?
No, can't say I do.
A 7th-round draft pick out of Kentucky in 2001, caught 7 passes for 182 yards and a touchdown and a 36-15 win over the Lions, and he didn't even start the game. Afterwards, 23 catches for 427 yards and 1 score in 25 career games, cut out of the league.
2002 was the year we won the Super Bowl, so I don't know that I was paying attention to too much else except us because we were just so damn good.
On our way to winning the Super Bowl. Do you remember Nick Goings, running back for the Panthers in 2004?
Probably not. No.
Big game. A lot of these guys. So you want to guess? I think you'll get it right. Who the Bucks, who they offered up for the Bucks? One-hit wonders?
Yeah. If it's Michael Spurlock, it's because he broke the record for us or ended the streak. But Michael Spurlock, he had other returns for touchdowns. He was in the league for a while.
It is Michael Spurlock, and you knew it would be. But let me give you the rundown on
the other
Michael
guess I would have had would have been Dexter Jackson, just because he
Super
rises
Bowl
up,
MVP,
he's a Super Bowl MVP, and then I don't know.
Yeah. Spurlock became the first Buccaneer in franchise history, as Tom just alluded to return a kickoff for a touchdown in a regular season game when he was able to streak down the sideline in the first quarter of Week 15 against the Falcons. Legendary Bucs radio announcer Gene Deckerhoff infamously yelled, "Run, Michael, run!"
Wait a minute. It says it's against the Falcons?
That's what it said, but it was against the Saints.
No, it was against the 49ers. 100%.
It said it was against the Falcons.
I'll double check it, but I was in the building. I watched it.
I know you were at
with
the
my own
game,
eyes.
but was it against the 49ers?
Might have been against the Falcons.
Uh-oh. Here it starts.
I was there. The 40-yard line,
you were
about 10th
there
row.
and don't know who we were playing. I think it's the Falcons, Tom.
Is it really?
See the
I'm
brain.
pulling up. I'm pulling it up. It was the Falcons. Oh, that hurts. I'm sitting 40-yard line. I can see where I'm sitting.
If we were at the bar right now,
I'd
you'd be yelling at somebody. Yeah.
Well, you should have taken my money if we were at the bar. I'll bet you $20, Tom. It was the Falcons.
Yeah, I would have.
So I was sitting right there. Oh, man. That was my brother-in-law's. He was getting transferred from Tampa to Atlanta, and the last thing they gave him were the good seats for the company. And so we got the good ones behind the bench.
Perhaps it was because it was against the Falcons.
Right, yeah. Could have been. Yeah,
by the way, Matt Veskurgen was on the call as well on the TV yelling, "Could it be that the great curse has been lifted?"
Veskurgen was on NFL broadcasts?
Yeah, he was.
Oh, I'm glad he's off him.
Ironically, the Spurlock that we know and love was cut and re-signed by the Bucs. He did it again against the Falcons on a squib kick in 2010. He spent the final 6 seasons of his career with 7 different teams. He finished with 5 combined kick and punt return touchdowns.
You know what's crazy is it's not too long ago that the referees wore white pants, and it looks like a different age completely.
Era, yeah.
Just by the referees' pants.
I'm noticing all the time these days because of the advancements in not just technology, but the clarity of picture. When you look at a highlight from as recently as 2003, you're like, when the hell was this game played? It's crazy. Like, it's in the 2000s, and you see a highlight, and you're like, oh, my God, what were we watching?
Yeah, it's like when they send, and they get the good HD cameras back in the day, but those are like the ones that when you have your football game on ESPN News.
Right.
That's the quality.
It's not
that was
MLB
the best
Network
quality.
Yeah,
oh, my God, yeah.
So, anyhow, the list is fun because it brings back, a lot of memories. A lot of you will go through, you'll find your favorite team. But good Lord, a lot of these names. You remember Chris Matthews, the wide receiver for the Seahawks in 2015, came out of nowhere to catch 4 passes, 109 yards, and a touchdown in the Super Bowl against the Patriots?
No, I don't remember that.
Chris freaking Matthews.
All I remember about that Super Bowl was the obvious, was the ending.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, tough ending.
It's Marshawn, man. That's all you need to do.
Lamar Smith had a 16-touchdown season in 2000 for the Dolphins.
I remember that. That was because he was a preseason stud, and that was the first year I played fantasy football for a site called smallworld.com.
Wow.
And it was much like daily fantasy, except you kept your players and their stock would go up and down. So their price would go up and down to drop or add. And I had Lamar Smith based upon a preseason hunch because I was a child, thinking the preseason actually would portend.
Sure.
Yeah, because he didn't even rush for that much. It wasn't that impressive. He just always scored touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
That was his thing.
By the way, do you remember Tommy Maddox, the quarterback for the Steelers?
I do.
20 touchdowns in 2002. He was an XFL MVP, was named the 2002 Comeback Player of the Year after taking over for Cordell Stewart in Week 4, helped Pittsburgh to an AFC North title, postseason victory, threw 3 touchdown passes and a wild card win against the Browns. Though he began the 2003 season as the Steelers starter, he never recreated the magic. In 2004, they drafted Ben Roethlisberger. Peace. That was the end of his career. How about that, man? My man. Good for you, though.
XFL to Steelers to playoff victory in the NFL to gone.
This will remember Steve Slayton.
Steve Slayton.
Texans from West Virginia, right?
West Virginia, I believe. Yep.
Speedy Steve Slayton. Yeah, he ended up being out of the league pretty quickly. He had a 10-touchdown rookie season in 2008, was named the starting running back for Houston, started 15 games. Ran for over 1,200 yards, ranked 6th in the league, and from there, he was out of the league in just a few years. You forget these guys. They come in, they make a splash.
Was he on the same team as Pat White? Remember Pat White?
Yeah,
and the Dolphins got him because they thought it would be the next evolution of their Wildcat game. Pat White, the quarterback.
Wow, I forgot about that. They have Tim Tebow on this list, which is great. Sylvester Morris is on this list. I remember him from 2000, wide receiver. Golly, I do remember him for the Chiefs, 42. Yeah, that's nuts. Some name, Terrell Pryor is on this list for the Raiders because of the season he had.
Huh. Old T. Peasy?
Terrell Pryor on the first play from scrimmage against the Steelers. Pryor, then a quarterback, faked the inside handoff to Darren McFadden before taking off through a massive hole on the right side. 93 yards later, he had the longest touchdown run by a quarterback in the history of the National Football League. The Raiders beat Pittsburgh 21-18 on that day. He passed for just 88 yards. Al Davis' final pick, by the way. Pryor was taken in the 3rd round in the 2011 supplemental draft and then went on to become a wide receiver. Spent time with Cleveland, Washington, Buffalo, the Jets, etc.
He was okay as a wide receiver. He held his own.
Who was it who had cruel things to say about him and totally dominated him one night? Was that Ramsey at the end?
Well, it sounds like Ramsey is what it sounds like.
It does. I can't remember, but yeah, it's kind of fun to go back through and look
Ramsey
at
went after A.J. Green, though. He's saying the game's passed you by.
Well, he
done.
slammed him on his head, or A.J. slammed him on his head because he said something about his wife.
But he also said, you're done.
Yeah. Well, he told him, you're done. You can't get open. I've got you all day, which turned out to be true.
Mm-hmm.
And then he finally said something about the man's wife.
I can't wait for Jalen to start criticizing Jared Goff this offseason, if not sooner.
Well, he's got a lot to criticize right about now. That's looking south. It's going south for Jared Goff. Here we go. Yeah, they went and picked him up, and now this thing is going to go off the tracks, and he doesn't handle that real well.
One thing about Cleveland, have you noticed? Odell's done okay this year. He's biting his tongue. It's going to happen, but he's done a really good job to this point of keeping between the lines.
Yeah, he spoke to frustrations, but they weren't directed at any one person, certainly not his quarterback necessarily. Right. And, it's been tough. Well, look, I think maybe they can recognize they can't block.
Or they don't have the coach, and that he just
replace
the coach and we're good kind of a deal.
I'm really, really curious at this point. We've learned enough now over time with these quarterbacks that you might not know if you have one or not 4 and 5 years in. It really is strange. Now, you know if you've got a superstar. Those guys are transcendent.
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes wasted no time in letting us know he's a superstar. Got it. Those guys ascend quickly, and you got one, and you know it, and you got a guy. 3/4 of the league, almost the entirety of the league, that's not that guy. They don't exist. And you'll see a guy, you're like, I don't think that guy can play. And 7 years later, Cousins is playing pretty well.
Okay.
He's okay. He's what he is, right? But, you wouldn't just give up Kirk Cousins. You would say, okay,
remember that
maybe
draft?
We could get somebody, maybe we can't.
That was so bizarre. They took RG3 and Cousins in the same draft to Washington.
Here's Cousins.
Cousins is the one that's still talking. Although RG3, you saw he was in the Heisman backfield last week.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. Good for him.
Yeah, Scott Hansen was breaking that down. He was nerding out. He's like, So there's only 5 times in history that there could be 3 Heisman winners on the same roster, let alone in the same formation.
That is freaking hilarious. Well, yeah, my point about the quarterbacks is we often don't know 4 years, 5 years, sometimes. Usually you have a pretty good feel. Certainly you get almost close to a decade. You know whether a guy's going to be able to play. But even still, we've seen some guys rise up with second and third opportunities and become something they weren't previous. Now, that happened in years past. Rich Gannon won the MVP after being an also-ran for most of his career.
Well, think about it this way. It was talked about a lot in the last 10 years before the rookie wage scale, and expectations for like immediacy.
Yeah,
you got to debut. You're drafted number 1, you debut. That you got to sit and watch the game for 2 or 3 years, and you're good to go. Well, that is also supposing, right? And it's assuming that quarterback is 22, 23 years old when they enter the league, and then they sit for 2 or 3 years. So by the time you're 25, 26,
you're ready to go.
You're ready to go.
Yeah.
But now it's like as soon as I can get out as a quarterback, I'm gone. So I'm 21, 22 years old, and they want me to start right away. So you're talking about about 4 years of experience, either at learning the speed of the league as a backup and also being an upperclassman in college, versus what we deal with now on a regular basis, which is for the Joe Burrow is going to be a bit of an exception because he's a fifth-year guy, but Jameis, Manziel, he had no chance. Trevor Lawrence is going to be that way. Tua is going to be that way.
Sure.
Haskins is that. It's completely different. These guys are 5 years younger than they used to be.
Yeah, they're really young, and they're not getting an opportunity to sit. They're expected to play right away and be good. A lot of quarterbacks do come in the league and play and make an impact. But what's weird about that, too, is we're seeing the other side of it, too. Not just what you said, but guys that come in and have an impact and that we declare immediately can play, only to have the league get a book on them and really begin to vet what they can and can't do and start taking it away. And then all of a sudden, a guy that in year 2 we said can really play reaches year 5, and we're going, I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure that guy's who we thought he was. That's starting to happen a lot more often. Where I think the people in Atlanta are looking at Matt Ryan going, guy was a freaking MVP, and I don't think he's very good. He's not terrible. He's good enough to be a starter.
Right.
But he's not the guy we thought was on his way
He
to.
can't carry us every year.
Yeah,
he could
right.
be,
Yeah.
He could be in one of the front rows,
Yeah,
but he's
he could
not
be
the
one
driver.
of the better players, but he's not. Yeah, no, but they were sure.
Well, it's also the problem of living in an era in which Brady, Rodgers, Breeze, Manning, Roethlisberger, sometimes Rivers, they all exist. And that's what are you talking about? A fifth of the league? That's crazy.
Yeah, you're living in an era. The only guy, and golly,
and it's not just about that the rules are quarterback friendly. These guys are legitimately unbelievable players.
Yeah, some of it's about that, but yes. I like being able to operate knowing I can't get hit. That changes things, or rarely get hit. But
it lengthens their careers. But you talk about how bright their star burns. That's who they are. These guys are freaks.
You and I would have been hailed as geniuses in Tampa had we been in the front office and been able to make the pick we wanted to make long before the third round. We had Russell Wilson in Tampa.
Yeah, we could have got him in the late second. And we called it way before the draft. Both of us were all in on Russell Wilson. He was a can't miss. These people are going to overlook him because he's 5'11", but he's one of the few 5'11" guys I'm going to go to bat for because I watched him kill people, in particular us, from the pocket with all the throws. He's got 4 eyeballs. He's got 2 right back here.
He's a smart guy, had pocket presence and awareness. And, oh, by the way, if he did have to run, he was an elite athlete. So you were pretty well screwed, and we knew it. I've been really wrong about quarterbacks before.
Sure.
But really right about that one. Man, we could have had it.
That's that faraway look.
It's so frustrating.
The book's not done on this kid yet, though. On
No,
Jameis.
no, it's not done. Well, my fear is this, and I think you know it, and we've talked about this. I believe it. If he goes somewhere else and it's the right system, even if he has to sit a year or two, we're going to be sitting there a few years from now going, son of a, as he's having an MVP-type season. He's in the right place. He's even more mature. He's figured it out. He's lighting it up. And that's a lot of these guys. Really, the truth is, if you go to a dysfunctional organization where you're playing for 3 different coaches in 5 years and you're learning new systems and your front office can't draft you a secondary to get a stop, your offensive line is average at best, you don't have a realistic running game most of the years you're there, well, you're doomed. Whether that's Jameis or anybody else, you're pretty well doomed. And that's why countless quarterbacks have gone to Cleveland, whether they could play or not. I don't know if we'll ever know because they went to Cleveland. It didn't work out. Now,
and look at Kansas City this year. You know, their defense is
awful.
Not great. And Mahomes missed 2 games, but they went 1-1 in those 2 games.
Moore lit it up in those games too.
Right.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to claim that Mahomes, by extension, by saying is a system quarterback. No. I mean, they're incredible weapons, incredible speed.
Yeah.
But Mahomes, as great as he is, he can't lead them to a 2 or 1 loss campaign.
Well, that's why we don't do
himself.
the stupid thing with quarterback victories. Because if you're doing that, then what you're saying is that Jimmy Garoppolo is the best quarterback in the league. And as a starter, he's lost a total of 3 games. He's 17-3 in his career.
That's right. He's the best. The best there is. Better than Brady.
That's what I'm saying.
What pace was Brady on?
If we're gonna do quarterback wins, that's what you would do. Jeff Cameron Show 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Every Thursday down in College Town. Centrale offers 50% off select pizzas all day, every Thursday. Or you can stop by Township for Taco Thursday. $2 house tacos, $2. Madison Social offers the Social Agreement. You and a buddy can split 1 order of wings, 2 Madso burgers, 2 bourbons, 2 proof Madison Socials, all for just $40. See what they did there? And don't worry about parking. Plenty of spaces available in the parking deck or surrounding lots. Check out all the Thursday College Town deals right now on ThursdaysInCollegetown.com.
As the leaves are falling, so are the DeWalt prices at Cornerstone Tool and Fastener. The Build Your Own DeWalt Kit promotion is back. Buy 2 select bare tools and get a DeWalt starter kit at no charge. That's 2 5-amp-hour batteries and charger. And there's more. Purchase a DeWalt drill and impact kit and get an additional 5-amp-hour battery and a free bare tool. Choose from impacts, drills, grinders, and more. That's 3 tools and 3 5-amp-hour batteries exclusively at Cornerstone. 1110 Stuckey Ave and 3269 Crawfordville Highway. Tallahassee location open on Saturdays from 8 a.m. until noon.
Hi, this is Peter Bond, owner of Jerry's Cigar Shop. Jerry's has been a local favorite for cigar enthusiasts for the last 25 years. We have the largest walk-in humidors in town, filled to the brim with an amazing cigar selection. Relax in one of our leather chairs and enjoy an ice-cold beer or a glass of wine with your cigar. Jerry's is a great place to watch sports on our big flat-screen TVs and offers a comfortable setting for lively conversation. Visit our original store on Sharer Road or our new second location on Cary Forest Parkway. We hope to see you soon.
Right now at the Home Depot, 'tis better to give and receive. Buy a Ryobi One Plus battery kit for just $149 and receive a select Ryobi One Plus tool free. Your choice from cordless drills to saws, even a radio. That'll make one powerful gift come Christmas morning. Actually, 2 powerful gifts. Buy a battery kit, get a tool for free. Only at the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. Valid through January 29th. Items must be scanned at checkout to apply while supplies last.
There's an app to save on flights, an app to rent a bike, and an app to help you save for driving safely. The Allstate app gives you real-time driving feedback with DriveWise, giving you the power to lower your insurance cost. In fact, safe drivers can save 40% or more. Connect and save with DriveWise. You're in good hands.
Download the Allstate app today. Savings may vary by state and driving behaviors. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Use of Allstate Mobile with activation of DriveWise required. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
At Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram, we haven't offered employee pricing in over 10 years. It's back. Get some incredible deals, like a new 2019 Ram, $1,500 up to $7,500 off MSRP, plus 0% for 60 months on the 2019 Motor Trend Truck of the Year. A huge savings only at Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Here's another. A new 2019 Jeep Grand Cherokee, up to $4,000 off MSRP. A new 2019 Dodge Challenger SXT, up to $6,000 off MSRP. Buy one for only $26,999 during our Dodge Power Dollars sales event. Employee pricing plus everyone qualifies going on right now. Only at Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram, where we're right on the corner and always right on the price. Visit us on the web at TallahasseeDCJ.com. Pricing on in-stock vehicles only, plus tax, tag, and dealer fee with approved credit. See dealer for details.
Broadcasting live from the Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee. This is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Balls McWednesday, brought to you by Hobbit American Grill. Hobbit American Grill, celebrating 40 years of serving good food to good friends for good times. Online at myhobbitonline.com.
Wrapping it up, Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio. As we segue over to another outstanding show, Front Row Knowles. Well, that's a great show every week. It's a great show this week. We've got basketball, man. We got basketball items. We've got basketball players. Malik Osborne talking to Tom Block and Keith Jones here. Here you go.
Now, Malik, if my information is correct, you grew up in Illinois. You signed with Rice. What went into your decision to leave, and what went into your decision to come to Florida State? How did that work itself out?
I just wanted to play in a Power 5 conference. I wanted to play against pretty much the best of the best. I know that the ACC is what Coach Ewan and Coach Ham called it when on my recruitment visit was the NBA of the South. And then I mean it was nothing against Rice. Rice was a great spot. Coach Parra, I'm also thankful that he recruited me and took a chance on me. But then coming to Florida State, Coach Gates was the one that recruited me. I have family that lives down here and actually family that lives in Tallahassee. I have two uncles that played football here, Torio Osborne and Joseph Clay. They played football back in the day for Florida State. Fiondu went to my prep school in Indiana, Don Bosco. So I also knew him coming in. And, I mean, I also wanted to be in a place where, I'm in Tallahassee, who's not really a big city, but that's what makes it feel so family-orientated. I mean, even on my visit, it felt like I was already a part of Florida State, and I didn't even commit yet. It just was like, a no-brainer at that point. And plus, Coach Ham told me pretty much what I was going to do. He laid out the game plan and stuck with it ever since. And I felt like everything was just genuine and nothing was artificial. So Florida State just seemed like the perfect spot for me.
Yeah, that's Malik Osborne, and he redshirt sophomore, and he's already made an impact on this team, of course. And you can hear that entirety of that interview with our friends from Front Row Knowles next. That's coming up, so you're going to want to hear that. I'm going to listen to that on the way home, in fact, and I look forward to it because I like that kid a lot. And it did not take long to like that kid either. He played against Pitt, obviously, started it even. And you may say, well, he had 2 points, Jeff. Yeah, but he had 9 boards. He also blocked 4 shots. And I remember thinking, okay, you're coming to the table with blocks and rebounds. You're on a right path. Ham will love you right now. The scoring can come later. And then it did. The next game against Florida. So you're seeing a kid now that I think when you go back and I think he had 10 points and he had 4 boards against Florida. He's a good player. We contest a lot, and we are problematic for teams defensively, and it's because Ham recruits guys with that body type who are going to get after you on the defensive end. They're going to buy in to what Ham is selling, and he just said it in the interview there. He just said that Ham laid out for him how this was going to work, what was going to happen from the day he stepped foot on campus to the time he started in his first game for Florida State. Here's how we're going to go about it. This is what I need from you. And this is something that we bring up often when it comes to discipline. But it's not always just discipline as far as, hey, you're going to be suspended for this game. You missed class this week, and I'm unwavering on that. You miss class, you don't play, you're going to sit. Okay, fine, great. He does stick to his guns there. Doesn't matter if you're a rock star on the team or a walk-on. If you break these rules, these are the consequences. As Ham likes to say, I don't suspend and punish people. They do. They do it to themselves. They know the rules. It's laid out before them. Now, if we don't violate them, then nothing happens. If you do, you know what happens. It's up there. It's written. We've already had this talk. But he disciplined in terms of a buy-in and everything that he's going to ask of you is also about a plan. and a genuine plan for your career at Florida State and how he sees it working out for you. And that if you follow it, some of the lucky ones, well, they go into the NBA pretty quickly. Some of the other guys, we're building to something. But if you want to get time, here's what you got to do. And this is the kind of discipline it's going to take. And it starts with understanding what we're doing defensively. Everybody gets more leeway the more they understand how we play defensively. Offense comes along the way. Now, it's great if you can do both, and you got to have your fair share of guys that can do that. But if you expect to be able to advance your offensive game, you better understand the defensive principles. And Ham is unwavering in that too.
Well, it gives me a lot of hope that when Olenicek comes back and is healthy enough to give us between 10 and 20 minutes, whatever they have set aside for him in their minds, that this guy is going to be option B. Listen, if Balsa gives us something as a freshman, that's great. It probably is a bonus. But I was wondering, after Dom, who the hell are we just going to go small? How the hell are we going to play this thing?
Well, I got an answer, yeah.
Well, and you might be able to. And Ham does that anyway. He mixes based upon opponent or based upon hot hand and match up however he wants to. But you like having options. And that's one thing we're used to here at Florida State, especially in the last little run we've had with Sweet 16, the Elite Eight, is that Ham could go 9 and 10 deep, play it any way you wanted it, but there were always multiple people at each position on the floor. I know that this is an era of wings and positionless basketball, but, you could have a wing player bring the ball up the court like a Jonathan Isaac if you needed to, but he could also play down low and defend if you needed him to. In lieu of versatile weapons like that, there have been times in this program's history where you needed to have at least a few people in a few distinct spots. Now, what's really interesting about Malik is, according to Trent Forrest after the game on Sunday, he was working on perimeter only. He wasn't even playing in the post.
Right.
But due to injury and experience, he had to go down there, and that's where he had to assert himself for the first couple of games of the season. So if he's working on a perimeter game of any kind, where he can stretch the floor for us in the half court, there's a lot that we can do here, and he is a huge key. I didn't expect for Malik Osborne to be one of the talking points after 2 games of FSU's basketball season, but I'll be going to that game Friday night, especially now that you're going to be out of town. I'll be going up to the TLC-CC. I'm looking forward to see how this puzzle fits together.
I'm really, really sad that I'm going to miss that game because I have been pumped for basketball, well, I don't know, maybe since post-Clemson. But I've been really excited about basketball, and I'm really excited to see how this team gels and comes together because they have a lot of pieces that are very fascinating, but at the same time, we just don't know how they're going to work. We don't know what the magic formula is, and Ham doesn't either just yet. But I like watching this staff and the things that they do, how they learn and how they create and arrive at a conclusion by the time they have to. And so seeing how the cake is made there, watching this thing come together is exciting.
Sure. And, listen, there's going to be some more growing pains. I expect a few more clunkers along the way. It's not like the first half of the Florida game, everything was solved. Offensively speaking, we were god-awful again. So there's room to improve. But if Malik Osborne ends up being one of the real keys to making us go the way we need to go and the way we want to go, this season will remind me of something that Mike Martin used to routinely pull off, which was we'd be watching a regional or a super regional, and we would lose it or we would go on to Omaha, but you'd say, God, man, 3 of our top 5 in the lineup are gone. We lost our closer, one of our weekend rotation.
Right.
Where are the answers coming from? And then the next year, you're at a regional or a super regional, and they're either going off to Omaha or they just lost
every time.
God, how do they replace? And it just happened over and over and over again.
By the way, I know I'm not allowed to start talking about baseball, but damn it, man, I'm telling you, they can pitch. There's a lot of excitement surrounding this staff and what they're putting together over there. I'm going to leave it at that. But just to scratch the surface, everybody, they're going to pitch. They're going to throw hard. They're going to miss bats.
Well, and you know what? It's only a few months away now. They released the schedule yesterday.
I know.
Come February, if you wanted to purchase a victory cigar for head coach Mike Martin Jr., so he could light it up after his first victory as the Knowles manager, right? Head coach, I know, in college baseball.
Yeah. You
go to Jerry's Cigar Shop, 2810 Shara Road, 2910 Cary Forest Parkway. Online at jerrycigarshop.com.
Well, no joke, and maybe I'll reach out to him today because it wouldn't be a bad topic even for tomorrow, but, the stuff we were talking about with sign stealing, electronics, and all that stuff with the Astros earlier today, which really pisses me off, but I would like to talk to him from a hitter's perspective, from a manager's perspective. what it does, what it does to an at-bat, what it does to a hitter's mindset. Tony Gwynn famously didn't want to know. You know, he some famous hitters over the years, Tony Gwynn being chief amongst them, said, I never wanted to know. If a guy got on second base and he was able to successfully steal signs within the parameters that are understood to be okay amongst baseball people, which is that if you're so sloppy that I can steal your signs just by simple deduction while I'm standing here on second base, well, it's fair game. All's fair in love and war. Can't use electronics behind the freaking train tracks like Houston's doing. But, yeah, if I'm standing at second and I figured out the code, I got you, you know? Anyhow, Tony said, yeah, we had guys that were good at it. We had guys that you knew they'd figure it out by the second, third inning. And they'd get to second base, and I'd come up, and they'd be letting me know, change up, curveball, fat. I'm like, no, don't do this because it would mess me up. I'd be sitting a certain way based on patterns I knew. Now, you're talking about the greatest hitter, one of the greatest 5 hitters of all time. He had a plan. And his plan worked well.
Yeah, you might want to let him execute that plan.
Let him go ahead and do his plan. If I'm hitting 217, I would like to know if I'm getting a fastball in or half or a slider away. I would do it. I would, yes. Wash it down with a cold Budweiser.
I wonder now that the two principals are out of the equation if Meat could speak more openly to something Miami pulled.
Well,
similarly,
I talked to his dad about that. I talked to Mike Martin at length about that the weekend, that Monday after that weekend series, and I really never remember hearing him that upset. His feelings were hurt though. It wasn't just that Miami arrival pulled that, but obviously he was friends, with Coach Moore, so he was really upset.
Both those guys are gone now, so I wonder if that can be more openly discussed.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I thought he was pretty open about it then. He basically accused them of cheating and said as much. And then off the record, he told me all the reasons that pissed him off, and he didn't want me to go with it. But publicly, he did tell everybody about how he walked over to the damn dugout and told him himself while it was happening. Walked over and was yelling at him in his dugout, which is awesome, by the way. It's like being scolded by your grandfather.
Did you see? Well, listen, I don't advocate for this, but every once in a while, a good minor league roasting of an umpire is fun, or somebody gets ejected. But there's a video. I think it's current. Sometimes they retweet things from yesteryear. Guy got thrown out of a minor league game, and he goes into the dugout as a player, and he grabs the trash can, and while the umpire's arguing with the manager, he puts the trash can in place of where the home plate umpire would stand.
Oh, wow.
And he points to it. He says, that's what you are. That's what you are.
He didn't need to do that. Just leave it there. We get it. The symbolism is...
Well, the umpire didn't see him.
He wanted to make sure
he was talking to the manager facing away from the plate.
He would have eventually seen the trash can. Good work out of you. Good work, Matthew. Be well, everybody. Again, Front Row Knowles up next. Malik Osborne, their guest. Should be a great show. I'll listen in just as you should.